It's 5-2 Pirates.
Not sure about what it is before the break at Pittsburgh, but the Brewers got swept this weekend in the Steel City. 14-5 the final on Sunday. Taking a look at the rest of the Central, it was the Cubs over the Reds 8-4. The Cardinals lose to the Braves 4-3. So at the All-Star break, Milwaukee has a 5-game lead over Chicago. St. Louis is 8.5 games back. Pittsburgh, for what it's worth, 9.5 out. And at the baseball futures game, top overall prospect Jesus Madej singled and then later drove in the National League's lone run on an RBI ground out. The American League won the game 6-1. The Home Run Derby is tonight. The All-Star game itself is tomorrow night. The Huddle starts now. I'm Doug Russell on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love.
Everybody wake up! Everybody wake
With the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you, you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with a number of cameras. Take the cameras off the field, and there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on one. Ready, Biller for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 yes. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red, right, 18 Bob on one. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here and try to run this play in the alley.
We know exactly what we got to do. All right? That's all we're going to y'all do. Let's go out and kick the tape. All right? 1, 2, 3.
Keep doing what you're doing. Sit our guys after and make the play.
Be right, all the way outside. Wide, left, fake, 396 bag, B hand, C puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmid,
Oh, my God. This man's been out all night.
and Armen Sarian.
This is it. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
Let's get it. It's a Monday edition of the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin, 920 Milwaukee, 1070 Madison, everywhere on the iHeart app, streaming live on Facebook, X, and the YouTubes. Welcome in 5 o'clock clubbers. I'm Drew Wilson, joined by Bill Schmid.
Morning, me, Hermano. How we feeling?
I'm feeling awesome because Armen Sarian is back behind the glass in his natural habitat after a Friday off. Good morning, Armen.
Yes, welcome, guys. Hello, guys.
Hello.
Welcome. I don't know why I'm saying welcome, but yes.
Welcome.
This is your
Welcome to be
domain. You
back.
welcome everybody in. What are we talking
Good to be
What's
back.
going
Good to be
on?
back. Yeah, not much. How are you guys?
How was Friday? How was birthday
Great.
weekend for the young sprout of yours?
Great, thanks. Great weather we were blessed with, and it turned out to be a great weekend. I got the slip and slide working, which was the biggest dad win for me over the weekend. I was able to correctly connect the hose to the correct spigot to get that and the splash pad going. So, listen, I'll take it. You know,
That's
and her
huge.
cousins could, enjoy the sun, enjoy the weather, and I'm taking that as a dog.
How confident were you in righty tighty, lefty loosey, or did
Oh.
you start second guessing the old saying?
You know what? No matter how many times you tell yourself, yeah, like you said, lefty loosey, righty tighty, you're still just trying both, just to wait, just to figure out eventually. Because it's lefty loosey, righty tighty, but it's like, am I turning it left or right? Because on one hand, it's going to the left, but it's also to the right side. I don't know.
So-
It's really confusing deal. But listen, it was just all trial and error. But it's why you get up early to give yourself
Now,
time to get it working.
Here's
Like
the
doing radio.
thing, because the story that you're telling us connotes that you said that the slip and slide was operational for your daughter who celebrated her birthday Friday,
Yes.
and then her cousins.
Yes, so
So,
had some cousins over.
There was a gathering.
Good party.
Yes.
Yes.
So was the big pressure of your gathering cleaning the house to Lara's standards?
Yes.
Was it getting the slip and slide to operate properly so the kids were entertained, or was it in some way manning the grill and standing over as the tradition
question.
holds?
Yes.
Which was more pressure, which caused you more agita?
It's a great question. I would say, if you take everything in a totality, my job was mostly worrying about the hoses and things like that, and then I was just helping around the edges. Otherwise, because of the relative newness of some of these aquatic apparatuses, I ran from the grind and successfully petitioned us to get Chick-fil-A catering instead of
it was a catered affair. See, you did
That's
not
good
stand
catering,
over a
though.
grill.
That
I was
was
going to
a
say
great
because
call, though.
And it
because-
wasn't like super big either, so that was part of it. But it was like big enough where I was like, all right, well, instead of,
let's get a couple 30
grilling,
nugget packs and a couple of sandwiches and call it a day.
Exactly. And, so I successfully petitioned for this Chick-fil-A catering, which did help. Although I feel confident enough in my grilling. Like I don't go like all the way through on the smoker like Billy and do some like next level rib smoking and all these different things that Billy can do on multiple. I just have regular grill. It's not like I have Blackstone and all these different things. So I could have cooked burgers and brats and hot dogs. But, I felt like this was going to be a good way to.
I know you've been cutting some pictures of some meat, but now and then you've been firing some T-bones up on there. I wouldn't sell yourself short on the grill.
I can do I can burn a little. I can do a couple things, but for the gathering now, it was also like I had to make the Sam's Club run in the morning and because it's closer than Costco, but it's the same thing. Do some things like that. So I would say
sounds like quite strenuous labor, Drew.
It was strenuous, man. Yeah. The 20-pound ice bags were absolutely. But I packed the cooler. I did all those things successfully. So
you thought you earned yourself some takeout at that point.
I felt like a real adult a little bit.
You were hosting, yeah. When you're hosting, it's a different animal.
Different animal.
It's a lot of things to think about.
But I think next time, maybe grilling is in the offing because I'm more confident in the rest of it, and that way we can save a little more on the margins because the Chick-fil-A was a hit though with the
I was gonna say though
about 4 or 5 kids
as
there.
All due respect to your grilling acumen, and even Drew, whether I'm 5 or 35, I pull up to a party and somebody's got Chick-fil-A. That's a different tone.
That's solid.
That's a good decision. I'm going to be very, very happy there. And the kids are going to be even more excited. Uncle Armen made hot dogs.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We'll get off. We'll stop playing with the water and choke down half of one.
But like,
we got Chick-fil-A. All right, sweet. Everybody's attentive.
And get the big tray, the catering for the nuggets. Like you always should we just get the big tray? Like you got to get the big tray because those are, first of all, those are things you can eat later. Those are things you can eat like leftover. Those are things you're going to keep eating throughout the day. You're not going to get tired of Chick-fil-A nuggets. So I would say that was a good decision over the weekend. That was good.
Good call. Good call. Well, I'm glad to hear that it went smoothly and it was not a debacle because we're going to spend much of our time today just pondering the question of what was the bigger debacle.
Debacles, yes.
The Brewers series in Pittsburgh to wrap up the pre-All-Star portion of their championship season in 2026, or Billy's Conor McGregor headlining fight on Saturday.
Yes,
it was good on this side though. It was good on the one side, on the Holloway side. I was okay with it, but goodness gracious, was that rough? From the graphics to Sophie Cunningham walking the ring entrance around. It was something to behold there on.
Did Conor McGregor last a minute?
I don't know that he lasted 30 seconds. I mean, like he went for the first kick and that knee buckled and it was over. And Max Holloway looked over at the ref and said, "Yeah, his kids are in the front row. What do you want me to do here? What do you want me to do here? I'm not doing this."
His leg buckled but Holloway let him up.
Yeah,
and then. But it was like, what are we doing here?
And Holloway talked about it after the fight. He saw it. He went down. He's on his back. He said he pulled up, and McGregor looked at him and yelled, "Fight!" He goes, "All right, well, stand up then." He lets him stand up, and then he goes right back down. And it was something to behold there in that main event. But it's almost like when the wheels fall off and you try to put them back together, and 5 years later, they might just fall off again. I saw my friend Wes Hodquist say Max was going to retire Conor last night. Drew, Conor retired Conor on Saturday night.
No, he's going to come back for the cash, and they're talking trilogy already, and he's got a fight left on his UFC contract. Ooh. And damn, he's going to box, Floyd Mayweather.
I was going to say we could find somebody in there.
He's driving down Floyd Mayweather Boulevard right now.
The final payday.
That'll be the next one, and people will buy it, and it'll be like, what are we doing as a society?
The crazy thing is that he hasn't fought a Paul brother yet.
Oh, that could come. Yeah, that's a good one. So
maybe that's where one of where the next one comes into, because that could definitely be a Jake Paul.
That would be a debacle with a capital D.
Oh, goodness gracious.
I just love Wes Hod at some UFC takes, like, you know what I mean?
Just he always does.
Wes loves UFC. Yes, Wes is a huge.
What is he more into, UFC or Noah Khan? That's quite the dichotomy.
I was going to say,
shows his acting range.
He is open.
He's Noah Khan, singer songwriter, in his feels, getting weepy, and then watching a blood sport.
Yes, and his best friend was getting married. I believe he was in the wedding on Saturday. I was talking to him because I kind of anticipated he would be out in Vegas. Brother,
no, it couldn't be.
Only a couple of guys would keep me from seeing Conor's fight. And it was one of his buddies that he was helping get married this weekend.
I love when there are certain things like I didn't expect that, and I love knowing that because it shows you the depth. It shows you the depth of somebody because it shows you how much depth they have.
Well, I felt like
wow,
I had some
range.
real depth this weekend. I watched 7 to 8 full points worth of the Wimbledon men's final yesterday.
That's big. And Alcaraz wasn't even in it, so that's big.
I was quite impressed with myself, Drew. I gave myself a little bit of the Wimbledon. Sounded like it was a phenomenal match for those that watched the entire way through.
Good match, and once again, Zverev got all the way to the end to lose in the final, but that's what he does. He's good enough to get there to give a good fight in the final, and usually take second in the major. But Sinner with the win, so that's good stuff. Yeah, it was good Wimbledon overall. Listen, this Wimbledon was overshadowed, no question. Because the niche summer sport of choice has been World Cup. So this Wimbledon got overshadowed a little bit. And then the women's final was 2 Czech players. So we didn't have an American, but it was still a pretty good final if you were watching it. It was a marathon. These are long matches, but yeah, good stuff. Billy, that shows your depth.
I was quite proud of myself.
I'm impressed by that. All right, good work. Good work.
And speaking on game balls and kicks to the balls Monday, you might that might reappear. That might reappear a little bit later because I was quite proud of myself. I also watched a decent amount of soccer there on Saturday too, Drew.
Good matches.
And both of those matches were phenomenal on Saturday.
Definitely locked into those. There were some good matches setting up. This is like the Final Four people like when they watch the NCAA tournament. They want the Battle of the Titans in the Final Four, and you're getting that.
Yeah, we got our Cape Verde situation.
It's all done. Norway with a great run. That ended. Switzerland with a great run that ended, both under, tight, questionable circumstances. But hey, it's been a great tournament, no doubt. And we're going to be set up for a good Final Four here.
That's right. Billy mentioned it. You can 5 o'clock clubbers check in, say hi, let us know what you think about the proceedings and the conversations we're having at 877-794-1973. That's the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line. But we got to talk about the Brewers. I mean, they're sputtering and wheezing into the break with the 3 losses. Now, they should have won both games on Saturday. Well, they could have won both.
Could have won both games on Saturday. That's for sure.
Sunday got debacled, and it started when Miz was pulled, and you say, "Oh, he didn't bounce back from his last start." And you're like, "Oh no, the hits keep coming." Harrison on the IL.
Oh my God,
Miz, it brings into sharper focus. It's no longer even a question. Do the Brewers need to trade for a starter? Absolutely, they do. At least one.
Yeah, the question now, Drew, is it 1 or 2?
I was advocating 2 anyway.
Yeah, and I'm debating if it's multiple starting arms, and we'll figure out the bullpen because I don't know how many trades you fully can make. But
if you have starting arms and you drop a Drowan into the bullpen, or you drop one of those guys that gets replaced, that the math works.
That can make it up for
I still like the idea of the blueprint for me is an impact starter, one that makes you say, "Oh, okay, good."
Mm-hmm.
That will not be. That you won't feel as overmatched in the playoffs, and then a back of the bullpen arm that can slide in with McGill and Uribe. Whether it's a closer, if you can get a closer, if you were to get a Josh Hader type, great.
Yeah, sure.
And then move those other guys up in the game. But if you don't, those guys have been proven to be pretty good and dependable. Just you need a 7, 8, 9 arm.
Yeah, and we need some of these teams in the American League to start losing, right? Like we need something to start separating itself, and the Minnesota Twins to go on a little bit of a losing skid coming out of the All-Star break because I think Joe Ryan is a perfect guy for the August 3rd deadline, who's been an All-Star. I think he's an All-Star this year as well, and he pitches exactly to the repertoire of the Brewers. A little bit of a country California guy come in here, and he's got a year and a half of control, so it's probably going to be a bigger package that you'd end up offering. But Drew, I think that's where the Brewers, I feel at this point in time, are more equipped, and they've always preferred that you're going to get some kind of guy with a little bit more control than just a simple rental. If I'm giving away some of the best farm system in baseball, I'd like to know that I got the impact arm for a year and a half, and who knows, maybe you peel him off in the offseason again this year and you can recoup some of that. But Joe Ryan right now is the guy that's got my eye caught. And I know we had a lot of Tarek Skubal conversations. Tigers didn't equip themselves very well this weekend. They lost a couple of games in the standings and lost a couple to the Phillies. Skubal lost yesterday, most importantly. But I don't know that one is as available as some other ones will. But it is clear as day with Harrison going down and not knowing how his response will potentially be with the soreness. And Miz, knew you were going to have to. babysit comes with a really negative connotation, but you had to watch and you had to be very careful and diligent that you weren't overstressing either of those guys' innings limits and arms going forward. And for it to hit right here at the time where you get a nice week off, it comes at a perfect time. We joke about it in the NFL.
Badly.
There's never a bad time for a bye.
Yeah.
This one comes at a perfect time for the staff, but damn, it sure reemphasizes that you do have some questions with how young these guys are, of how they'll be able to withstand the next 2 months where you're trying to win this division.
Yeah, there might be some uncomfortable moments in the last couple of months because of that. Like you said, Billy, these are uncharted territories for some of these guys, and that's why getting more support would help. So a couple of L7, L8 would help, and some of these American League teams, a couple losing streaks, where we could get them comfortable with the idea of being sellers. So we'll see how it shakes out. A badly needed break, though, as you guys said. And we'll be talking to Hunter about it today.
That is correct.
25 as well. So that'll be a lot of fun to talk to Hunter.
Yeah, that is correct. A friend of mine texted me, like, why do the Brewers always suck in the series before the All-Star break in Pittsburgh? I'm like, man, that does sound like a thing.
It's always a thing.
But Pittsburgh's had their number.
Well, they haven't lost all, they've had some better luck, I think, recently in some of the series, but we do remember the ones that have gone badly. Like
2018, they lost a 5-loss in 4 day.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think they had somewhat stemmed the tide on that recently, if I'd have to go back and look, but once again, it was Pittsburgh walking in, although it's that old thing, and we'll talk to you about it, but it's that old thing, like, if these 3 losses came in April, we wouldn't think about them as much, but it's like that last taste before the All-Star break.
Yeah, but it's just, they were holding their own. They had a great series in St. Louis.
Great series.
Great gritty series. Playing 2 doubleheaders in 4 days is taxing for anybody at any point. Well, and they were at the end and doing it at the end of a stretch of 18 and 17 or whatever the hell it was. The math. They were running on fumes a little bit.
Oh, big time. And the Brewers and Dodgers both get swept over the weekend. Best 2 teams in the National League get swept by division rivals as the Diamondbacks nipped to the Dodgers.
Yeah, so that's, that's a little bit mitigating. They just, all right, we got to the break. Finally. You knew that's their longest trip. You play 3 cities. And it ended up being okay. And then you think to yourself, well, what if they had dropped one of the games in the doubleheader in St. Louis and won on Saturday?
Exactly.
It all evens out, right? It would have been like, but those
yeah.
were in the bank, and you get greedy, and it was, most doubleheaders are split
100%
math, and it's like, okay, and if you play a 4-game series, a lot of times it's hard to win a 4-game series. And in this case, they won a 5-game series, right? So
I felt decent about the you walk out of the 8 games in 7 days, and as defeatist as it might sound, man, you go 4-4, you're not going to hurt yourself. And the worst case scenario happened at the end, and he still went 4-4 in the 8 games. So I don't hate the total result, hate the process of it. But when you see, and I think the other part of it, Grindle had a stat yesterday. The last time the Brewers were swept by a division foe was Pittsburgh in like 21. So signals just how dominant the Brewers have been in the division.
That is amazing.
And for Pittsburgh to get them again, they beat them 2 out of 3 games in April at home, and one of them was a lot more, almost more convincing fashion than yesterday's, because I think Skeens had a no-hitter going into the 6th or 7th inning on the second night of the NFL draft. So Pittsburgh's had a nice little run against the Brewers. They're the only team that's really had some success in the NL Central. But you had to get to this break, and you desperately needed some time, because your rotation with all those young arms that have been so good and carried you so far, they needed a nice blow. And Kyle Harrison, most importantly, needs himself a little bit of recentering time for the last month and a half, because it has not been the same Kyle Harrison you got accustomed to in those first 2 months.
Yeah, needed to find the Kyle Harrison you found for most of that first half when he was rolling. So no doubt about that. And then obviously Miz needed the ramp down with the arm fatigue. So a lot of those things absolutely true. And I mean, that is, but the quality of an organization, I mean, to not be swept by a division opponent in 5 years since like Delta strain of COVID, I mean, that's pretty amazing work. I mean, like, that is really good. And no matter how hard it is, how hard they've been pushing, they probably saw the break in their sights a little bit. And it's really hard those last couple of days of work before vacation, getting ready for that big family trip to Branson or something.
It did feel like you were watching a different team over the weekend, though, because when you knew that Miz wasn't going to pitch against Skeens, we lost that. It was going to be on Peacock anyway. But then all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, who's Braden Shoemaker and why is he starting at third
Yeah, what's this
base?
number 13 that's playing over here? This long, lengthy cap.
So you
They
had to
brought back
remember
Tyler
that.
Saladino?
Exactly.
With that stash, you could have told me it was.
Yeah. So Braden Shoemaker joins the party and like, what? Like, what, you know?
Well, in Drew, I mean, all the prospect heads were knee deep in the MLB draft, and even they didn't see the Saturday night special that was Jet Williams tweaking his wrist.
He would have been up, yeah.
Because otherwise he would have been up and he would have given you at least a little bit of the emotional boost of, oh, well, at least we got to see one of those top prospects again. He hits the IL. So it was just an all bad weekend there in Pittsburgh. No good, very bad weekend, but that's fine. Now you get a couple of days, you get some relax, recharge, and hopefully watch Contreras, maybe even appear in the All-Star game tomorrow night.
That'd be nice. Yeah.
They drafted a bunch of fellas, adding to their already rich coffers of their farm system.
Shortstops from California.
And we're going to figure something out here. I'm cooking something up here. I wonder if the Brewers are trying to back channel a way to be able to finally beat the Dodgers.
All right.
I love this.
I'm starting to cook something up. I think they might have cracked the code. We might not be able to beat them in money. We're going to hit them where it hurts.
All right. We will discuss that as we move forward on the program. We'll take your thoughts. Game balls and kicks, always a treat on Monday. We got Hunter Baumgardt racked up for today as well to get ready for a week of the Brewers and everybody else just resting and reflecting and looking ahead to what lies ahead. And then we got to talk about a potentially illegal Bucks Bucks signing. Like, oh my.
So awesome.
Oh my. Bucks not leaving the the national radar because they signed a deal that made everybody go, what the hell is that?
You know what, though? They honor their agreements, allegedly.
Even if they're illegal. We'll talk about all of that and more. You're in the Huddle. Fox Sports Radio was. A Monday edition of the Huddle. Rolling along, 5 o'clock clubbers. Let's get after it. It was a glorious weekend. Going to be really hot the next couple of days. Armen's going to keep the splash pad going. Billy and I are coming over.
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
yeah. It's going to be really hot all week.
Pray for that grass, because if you got that slip and slide up,
That's
I am
cooked.
going right through that bad boy, and we are going to douse that lawn.
Well,
Also,
and that's the thing.
yeah.
Like, does it? I mean, obviously the water runs, so you're going to have some green patches, but the part where the actual slip and slide is going to be brown and
It's
ruined.
brown already. No, that's exactly what happened. I really wasn't ready for that or really expecting it, but I figured it was there for half a day. It couldn't be that bad, but we already got that kind of brown patch where it is. That's just the reality of what it is. I don't know what else you can do about it.
2 cuts and it'll be fine.
Yeah, that's what I think too. I'm not one of these guys that's going to be like testing the pH balance of my soil. I'm not that hardcore about the lawn. You know, some of these guys are wild. You ever see some of these guys on Reddit talking about
No,
lawns?
I've never seen that,
It's
but
crazy,
I do
dude.
agree. I do believe
No.
that they're there. I would though buy Armen being the guy drew out on his hands and knees picking out individual weeds in his grass.
Oh yeah.
No,
I 1,000%.
I used to
could see
kid
that.
my dad about that. He was such a perfectionist with the lawn. I'm like, he cuts it with a scissors.
As much as like I wish I was
Hands
that
and
guy,
knees.
I'm not that guy. As much as I
The
wish
way-
I was.
uneven. Hold on.
The way
Yeah.
back in the day, Mom used to, hands and knees while scrubbing the floor.
Oh yeah.
You know, that
sure. With the
they
toothbrush.
make these things with sticks that you can push
It's a lot more efficient. And
a
easy.
lot
You
more
could just do
efficient,
that.
easier on the back too.
I prefer to just mow it and leave it, but I know a lot of people want you to do all kinds of things with the lawn, and you got
You got to mow it.
builder
It's
and mow it. So what is
fertilize.
Come on, what am I gonna
Yeah, Armen, it's a point of pride.
The fertilizing is one that your boy
That's real.
messed up on this year. Did not do, and I'm paying the price for it. No doubt
Oh, yeah?
about it. Yeah,
I didn't
it's
either.
Didn't do the
back up.
weed and feed.
No, I didn't do the weed and feed. Messed up, and it was a problem. But we'll
All right,
figure it
You'll
out.
figure it out.
We'll
I
figure
mow
it out.
I
though.
mow my own lawn though. I'm not like these. You pay for a service, and you just no way.
We'll get some of the, our stalwarts over on the sales side to get Billy a
There we
package
go.
where someone comes in and takes care of that for you.
That could
Good.
totally
There are
happen.
services that will
Yes.
come in a couple times a year and squirt the necessary nutrients on
killer.
your lawn, and
Yeah.
you're good to go.
That would be a beautiful thing. That would be a beautiful thing.
Now we're talking.
People are awake over there.
Now
Come
we're
on,
Close
talking.
our
Hold on.
eyes and
Let's go.
hope.
Let's get one.
That's what we'll do.
Make it happen.
That's what we're going to do.
That's the rip and pray method.
That's right. 877-794-1973. So the Brewers thing, one thing about the Brewers, it was nice out yesterday, and I popped in and I turned on the Peacock, and I heard Dilly sitting in with the Pirates announcers, and then I saw when I turned it on was the 10-run inning.
Oh, so you got
And
there
so
just in time for
it was
the
just in
foul?
time
Yeah.
for the debacle.
Wow.
And it was like, hell, they're sending me back outside into this glorious Sunday summer day in Milwaukee.
Mhm.
I
Appreciate
don't
you
need
guys.
to go.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm enjoying the Wisconsin weather. I don't have to worry about checking in on the Brewers. The only drama was whether they're going to give up. I said on X, like, they could give up 3 touchdowns today because it was they were at like 13 or 14 without even working up a sweat.
It was going to be if they could if they could make up for the point differential of Packers and Steelers from a year ago, and see if they could even up the scoreboard.
And just wondering how many innings Jake Bowers was going to throw, but they didn't need him because of Bryce Wilson.
That's true.
That's the biggest upset
1 year
of the
deal
weekend.
already worked.
Is that you got smoked like that, and you didn't even have to burn a position player arm and risk injury that way. That was, I guess, a victory.
I guess I should have looked at the game log that earned him the great performance against the Brewers when they lost 2-3 to the Cubs a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And then earned him a DFA that allowed him to be available for the Brewers to swipe him up on that 1 year deal. But the Cubs went ex-Brewer for ex-Brewer. They cut Bryce Wilson, signed Jake Woodford. So they brought the Woodford reserve in on the north side, and the Brewers were able to get
I like
Wilson, who
that.
definitely
I like the
helped them out.
Woodford for Wilson deal.
Yes, I like
kinda
that a
like
lot.
it.
I like that a lot on this side too, because you got a workman-like guy that, I mean, if anybody is going to be beloved by Pat Murphy, I would assume Bryce Wilson in that uni is going to.
And Bryce Wilson, without a doubt, his most productive year of his career was 23 with the Brewers. He pitched over 100 innings, was decent, slightly above replacement level, ate a lot of innings up for the Brewers. And an otherwise, I would say, unremarkable career. He's been exactly like replacement level, but for like 8 years. So he's grinding out a nice career. So maybe they have ideas of what they can tweak with Bryce to get a little more production out of him. And if nothing else, be, like innings eater, things like that. So we saw the first example of it here when he was, kind of taking one for the team and eating up some innings. So that was somewhat useful. I'm just hopeful he can kind of regain that form that he had in 23. Maybe he'll get something out of him.
That game lasted 3 hours, mostly of misery, because once the second inning was over, the Brewers were pretty much cooked.
If you stuck through it, I give you credit.
No, I there's no way, especially with a Peacock presentation and other things happening. Like there was
that was one where I talked to the parents and asked them if they got the game on. If not, don't worry. If not, don't worry about it. Go about your day. You'll be okay missing this one. You look at just how many pitchers they've used here in the first 95 games as we reach the theoretical halfway point. Man, they are firing some bullets. I mean, you watch just the amount of different names that have made multiple appearances. Kind of forgot about Brian Fitzpatrick, who, again, looked nice in his first couple appearances. Then arm blew up during one of the warm-ups in Colorado. Obviously, we all remember Joe Kuhnel. He's sitting there on the IL. And Angel Zerpa, kind of chasing the loss from earlier in the year, I think, Drew, where they make the move for Isaac Collins and Nick Mears to bring in a left-hander that was going to be a leverage arm. And him going down early has really set them back. And it feels like they've been chasing one arm since then. All that to be said, they are still 5 games up in the division after the Cubs win a series, and they've really started to find their stride going into the All-Star break. And you haven't necessarily played your best ball, but 18 games in 17 days, 10-8, you take it. You desperately need, though, and I think maybe we're all just forecasting and wishcasting too much, but it appears like it's too clear and obvious that they're too good to not make multiple moves, or that there are multiple moves that could be made and should be made. And I feel like at some point you got to strike while the iron's hot.
They're not going to be stingy with all these. They have an abundance of prospects, and you can't play them all.
No.
And there's, like we said, there's a couple of guys that you wouldn't even think about trading, but other than that, everything's on the table. And we brought it up last week. Frelick could be dealt, and somebody from the big league roster could be dealt as well.
Yeah, very well could be, especially if it's like a Casey Mize deal with Detroit, who at some point they think that they're going to want to compete again. Yeah, I would assume they want more major league ready guys too.
Much as we love like a David Hamilton, there might be a team that covets him or something. Like he's shown they this Brewer magic that they have, So everything's on the table now because you're trying to push in, and you're in first place. You got to hold off the Cubs, and the lift that they'll get. Again, like on August 3rd, if other teams are making deals and you stand pat and just try to go with what you got, that is not a message to the team.
Well, there's an emotional lift.
It's an emotional lift from making even minor moves. What we think is minor moves that just, this is it. Let's go.
We know what we got.
I want a move that puts wind in your sails, like a CC type. I want that. Like, all right, let's go. Like now. Let's get after it.
And do you see there being one other than Scooble? Does Joe Ryan give you that little tickle? Does that get it standing up a little bit?
Pretty good arm. They're a pretty established guy. Like you want to bring in a starter. What I would say is I want a starter of the caliber. And this is like, again, they're in position that they can do a rental. They have the depth of the farm system that they could rent.
They can withstand it.
But the Tigers are getting back in the race, and the American League's so bad.
And I desperately don't think they want to trade him.
Scooble might not be the guy. Yeah, it looks like they're going to ride it out and get nothing for him, right? But the thing is, you want that, but I want the kind of guy that you have to do some math and say, well, he could challenge Miz and be the opening day guy.
Ooh, okay.
It's like that caliber of guy. I want like a guy that you would say, oh, he's not out of place starting a game one, or that's the kind of guy I want. Whether it's out there or not, I'm not sure.
You want Don Sutton for 2 more years after the Brewers pick him up?
Well, yeah, but I'm saying that if you got a guy, even if it's a rental, but Tarek Scooble, obviously,
sure,
got some Cy Youngs on the
he's got the pelts all right there on the wall for sure.
But there's a guy, but if there's somebody like that you say to yourself, okay, Miz aside, like he could be our opening day starter.
Well, Joe Ryan would definitely be in the conversation. 2-time All-Star, back-to-back All-Star appearances, and this year ERA under 3. He's flirted under 3 for a while, and he started 20 games already this year in 110 innings. And the Twins have been ready to shed salary for a while, and you get him for one more year. I heard Kurt Hogue and Corey Knebel going through it on their podcast, and they had some listener submissions for some ideas of what this would take. And at some point, I think everybody has taken off, just like the Brewers probably will. The Made, Pena, both yesterday in the Futures game. Made just looks like a big leaguer. That
he does already.
His first at bat was insane. Just workman-like.
By the way, he's at the top of the list of guys that you don't trade from the farm system.
Well, that's the thing. Deep down,
but he's also. I also think he's the guys that nobody's asking for. Like they understand that that's not happening.
Yeah, and I think organizationally, deep down, you might think about. We know the guys. like, and then we know the guys that we know everyone else likes too. But maybe those guys were on a different list. You'd never reveal it, but maybe there are certain guys you say, okay, even though we like them as a prospect, we're willing to part with them because maybe we don't see the same untouchable potential.
Well, Jet Williams and Brock Wilken would be a great 1A, 1B because you just acquired Jet Williams, who appears to be in a different class, a top 100 prospect that you just got from the Mets in the deal. But Wilkins, a former first-round pick who had hit pretty well at all different levels, and both are sitting there right at AAA. If you peeled off Brock Wilken, a first-round pick 2 years ago, people have said, what are you doing?
Sure.
I mean, that's going to be your first baseman coming up in a couple of years. That's going to clearly be your third baseman of the future, but you only have one third base. And at some point, I think they're already looking at Andrew Fisher, who's got 9 bombs at AA to play third base. So there's going to be a log jam here, and not everyone can play. And you're a game and a half out of the first seed in the National League, where you were again a year ago, and your team at the major league level is screaming for some help. This would be the most disappointing, I think, it's been if they didn't make a sizable move, right? Like, I think it was, I think it could be explained away a couple of times, Drew, over the last couple of years, where it might not have felt like, do you really think this is the year? Do you really think this is the year? The other part is, this isn't the old school all in mortgaging the farm and mortgaging the future that you're doing for one of these guys.
I got to think, we were the 2 for 1 of the 2 for 4 or 2 for 5 of Sonny Gray and Aroldis Chapman coming over from Boston. Boom. Plug and play.
That's a game changer.
That's like, you could just do that deal and I'd be happy, right?
Yep. You could sit on your hands for the rest of the deadline if you made that one happen.
That would be one, because then you're checking 2 big boxes there. You got the flame throwing lefty at the back end, and you got the guy up front that people have. The Brewers wanted Sonny Gray over the years. So
I was going to say they've flirted with that one a couple of different times. He's got a full no trade clause, and I think a sizable buyout for next year. So we'll see if but those things all get negotiated away. And again, you have prospects in which, if you don't want to spend the money, if the money ends up being the conversation that you would prefer not to pick up a certain amount of the contract, you negotiate that and you throw in a Josh Adamszewski and a better prospect,
like we said,
have them throw some cash in this
Payne
thing.
or a Brock Wilken, and guys who have just they have prospects that other teams would want that might end up being good players. Yeah,
and especially if it's just a veteran starter. Like, you look at some of the really bad teams like the Royals. I mean, they have Michael Wacha, and they have.
I like Michael Wacha.
Yeah, they have guys like that, so Seth Lugo. So maybe those guys are like, under control a year. Better.
And Lugo's not having a great year. No. That might be a better one to be able to pay. So one that you'd be able to pick up for probably a little less.
They wouldn't cost like a top line prospect. Yeah. They would cost something that you're willing to give up at AAA. It's hard to say. It's that whole thing of who's going to really be a seller that you have to look into. Maybe the Angels have a guy, Reed Detmer. There's a guy there. So.
And a couple of years of control for Reed Detmers. He is going to be coveted at this deadline. If indeed the Angels actually sell. Because, I mean, again, they were 9 games out, and they decided to keep 2 months of Ohtani when they could have gotten multiple future All-Stars. So we'll see. We'll see how it's gone now.
All right, 877-794-1973. When we come back, we'll hear Hunter's recap of a debacle of a game yesterday and a debacle of a weekend in the Berg. I was thinking of Janney and Appleton and all the Brewers fans who went there to. They get rained out on Friday, so you got to explore Pittsburgh and crush some Iron Cities and get a Permani Brothers sandwich. And then you got it Saturday, lose a doubleheader, and then you go out and drown your sorrows and thinking you're going to see Miz, and then you get the rug pulled. And rough weekend to travel with the Brew Crew. But we soldier on right here in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Rolling through a Monday with our 5 o'clock clubbers, Drew, Billy, and Armen, the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Our fourth caballero here. There's Hunter Baumgardt, whose updates on the Brewers are brought to us by Import Minded. And he had the task, and this had to be tough for Hunter, to hold his nose and create a report about the Brewers' loss yesterday. They got debacled in the finale of a 3-game series that included a doubleheader sweep at the hands of the Pirates on Saturday after a rainout Friday. It's bad news, but we're at the break. Take it away, Hunter B.
Thanks, guys. It was a weekend to forget for the Milwaukee Brewers as they fall in all 3 games to the Pittsburgh Pirates and get swept to 1-run losses on Saturday and a blowout loss yesterday. So instead of focusing on what happened on the field over the weekend for the crew, let's look at what happened off the field because there were plenty of headlines, starting with the Major League Baseball draft. Who did the Brewers pick in the first round? Shortstop Trey Ebel, who's the brother of Brady Ebel, who they picked in the first round last year. So such a cool story. Their dad is a coach with the LA Dodgers. He's super proud. Going to be super fun to watch those two go up through the Brewers system. Now, also, the final draft pick by the Brewers yesterday was Karsten Sabathia. Yes, the son of CC Sabathia. He's an outfielder, and really, really cool that they were able to get him with their final draft pick yesterday. Now, a couple of roster moves. A slew of roster moves over the weekend. Kyle Harrison placed on the 15-day IL. Then, of course, Jacob Mizorowski. They didn't use a roster move on him, but, of course, he was scratched with some fatigue and just body not feeling right. Did not go yesterday. Supposed to be that Miz-Skeens matchup that, unfortunately, it didn't happen. Also, Braden Shoemake, an infielder acquired from the Houston Astros. He left the game early yesterday, so we'll see how he fits into things after the All-Star break. But they DFA'd Greg Jones in the corresponding move. And then Brandon Woodruff transferred to the 60-day IL, making him ineligible to pitch till at least September 5th. We will hear more when the Brewers return to action coming up this weekend against the Marlins as to what the next steps are for him. They're still awaiting that after Woodruff met with Dr. Keith Meister, who did his surgery back in September of 2023. I'll join you guys at 7:25 to talk more about the crew. This report brought to you by Import Minded, your trusted choice for exceptional vehicle care on South 27th. Just north of 894. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Hunter B. Always appreciate it, even when the news isn't great.
Shoemake, my man did not have a tremendous debut with the crew yesterday. I think the best thing that happened to him yesterday was not snapping out of his ankle. When that dude slid over the bag and slid right through his right foot, Drew, I thought he was going to be one and done. I thought he was going to have one plate appearance with the Brewers.
That's what I thought too.
And that was about to be it for him.
And they just got him, and whatever they gave up, cash considerations, which is okay. But then I thought, well, he's going to go, and now he's going to be on their IL and suck up big league money and get service time for.
Yeah, he's like, well, this could be worse.
One plate appearance.
Could be worse. Get a big league deal. Yeah, 100%. He would have lasted longer than Connor did at that moment.
Yeah, he would have.
He had 3 innings at that point.
Oof.
Yeah, one of these years, cash considerations is going to have a big deal. One of these years, he's going to have a big year.
Yeah, huge.
Continues to just get thrown around like nothing.
Unfortunately,
yeah. At some point, he's gonna pop. For the Woodruff news that Hunter said in there. Not at the least bit surprising, but hey, at least there's a little glimmer of hope, right? A little glimmer of hope there, September 5th.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound good at all. But at the best case scenario, he could still be there for the stretch run. Hopefully, we get some kind of positive news that he hasn't already gone under the knife or they don't already have something scheduled.
Yeah.
When we hear from them coming up on Friday at the ballpark.
Yep. From the 715, the thing with this series is. Also could have been taken care of before with another win, is that they crapped their pants by not etching themselves in MLB's history book. Could have been one of only 21 teams ever in history to have 60 wins by the All-Star break. Came up one short in typical Brewers fashion. Disappointing, lackluster, stagnant, mediocre effort yesterday. Today they had their suitcases packed already.
I'd be surprised there's only 20 teams that have done that. Or 21.
Yeah, but isn't it kind of diminished when you play 90 some games before?
That's the thing. You play so many different, and they're moving the calendar so much earlier on that it probably doesn't.
Yeah, that's one of those. I don't think that's a club
way.
Anybody knew existed.
Yeah,
so why is there such a strong pull to be in it?
Nobody was keeping that ledger.
No,
to say
to me it's that's. I got ripped because I dumped on that whole thing a couple of years ago. They're the only team not to lose 4 games in a row. What does that mean? Nothing.
Oh, it's good indicator.
Yeah, this means that they'd be an
indicator of what?
Yeah, the best start
What
in
did it
franchise history
indicate?
by a lot.
You don't lose games. I mean, but I mean, it's you don't put banners up for it. Somebody
But you
asked
can win
me-
100 games and lose 6 or 7 in a row.
No, I
It's
know
like that doesn't matter.
I know it doesn't really matter, right?
It
You
didn't.
know, it's a good.
People took that like it was, but it wasn't meaningful or predictive. It was just one of those quirks that happens in baseball because we look at a lot of numbers.
Like the cycle.
Yeah, I mean, I also think that
Like
it does
the
show
cycle.
that you don't necessarily go on extended streaks. Like, what does it say about the Cubs that they've had 10-game losing streaks and winning streaks? You don't think any of that matters then? Like they went
not particularly. I mean, well, it just means that they run hot and cold.
Sure. Well, then
But-
that would be predictive.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be one sign of it, that you don't run hot and cold. That would be some kind of an answer to it.
Sure.
But this one is
But
it's
you could go a whole season, not lose 4 in a row, and be a below 500 team.
sure.
Just
But
less
again,
likely.
you're not streaky. That
Yeah,
again, I'm
it's like,
answering
yeah.
what you're asking.
Yeah,
What does it
but
tell
it
you?
doesn't-
It does tell you something, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's clear that it tells you something. But
Doesn't
I
guarantee
but
anything. Let's
it's
put it that
also-
way.
doesn't guarantee you
Yeah, but
anything.
it's
Nothing does
also-
in sports. Though.
yeah.
It does
exactly.
in
It's
life.
like-
In life.
And then again, like they didn't lose 4 in a row all season. Then they had a disappointing in the playoffs. And then the next year they opened up by losing their first 4, right? And won 97 games. It's
Yes,
like,
that's
okay.
true.
So we're like, oh, that was a
Yes.
great stat.
But
again,
it did.
didn't
But it
tell me
was
anything.
again predictive because they were like the streakiest they've been in how many years? Because they had 13-game winning streaks. They had
Streak.
Yeah.
a bunch of 4-game losing streaks, 5-game losing streaks at the beginning. So it tells you what kind of character you have of the team. I don't know that there was anything too disappointing about the effort yesterday, other than giving up 10 runs in 1 inning and my man Grant Anderson not being able to pull you out of the abyss. The 10-run inning was something that ends up happening. All right,
I'm
sweet. Now
wondering,
let's
like,
rip that off.
what's up with Jared Koenig? He's trying to figure stuff
Ooh.
out, but like he's been getting lathered.
Yeah, and maybe
Question.
maybe now it makes more sense as to why he had 12 appearances in that rehab stint.
Yeah, because
I
he
mean,
wasn't
yeah.
finding
He
it.
was
all
trying to
just
find
thought there just
anything
wasn't-
possible, and
Yeah.
they
there-
threw him so much last year that you got to anticipate they're got to think they're paying some kind of big tax for
They
70
rung
plus
out the
appearances a
bar
year
rag
ago.
because
Yeah.
and then the cautionary tales. What's going on with Ashby? Because they use Ashby every day. He's the new Jared Koenig. You know,
Yeah,
they have a
and-
guy that they use every day.
That's the
And if
Yoel
you look at the
Payam
numbers of Ashby, it's a little bit more extended of a time that he hasn't been able to find his best stuff than just the last couple of weeks,
But
right?
it did help. But it did help you. You know, all these things did help you get a bunch of wins. So that's the tough part. It's like they used them a lot because it worked, and therefore, yeah, you have to navigate now the next part of it. But you're right. All those things are true, and that's why the break was needed, and that's what everyone's going to reassess now when they come out of it. Yeah, but that tax, I mean, that's the Yoel Payam's tax or the Elvis Peguero tax. Like there were guys that pitched so well for the Brewers. I think of Cameron Lowe for a stretch, and then it just seemed like that was
Big Cameron with a K.
Yeah, like for a
What a
stretch,
name.
so good until it wasn't, and then once they fell off the cliff because you used them, that obviously is part of it. What happens with that? But
It's like being on the golf course. You only have so many good swings.
So right,
you
as
only
long
have
as you
so many good curveballs. Let's not throw them all in
Yeah.
1 year, is what you're saying?
yeah, I guess
I
so.
get that,
I don't
okay.
know. It's tough when a guy's pitching well. You press that button, and when he doesn't stop pitching well, you say, "Well, maybe I shouldn't have pressed that button." It's like, well, you were trying to win the games, weren't you? That day you won. That was the point. So it's that it's the difficulty of crossing the 6-month desert of a season.
Right. We got some really good game balls and kicks to the balls hosted up. We want yours as well. 877-794-1973 to get you in. We'll fire up the game balls and kicks. Hunter joins us live at 7:20. Dolphins are here for halftime at 6:20. Get yourself a comfortable chair and a cold or hot beverage of your choice. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
I'm Doug Russell. There's something about going to Pittsburgh right before the All-Star break that just flummoxes the Brewers.
It's a small club being picked number one overall. Hits that one well to left field. Churio at the wall, jumps, and it's gone. He couldn't catch it, and he slammed into the wall. Two-run homer for Davis. It's 4-0.
The Pirates behind Paul Skeens on the mound, and the home run and 3 RBIs from Henry Davis walloped the Brewers in the series finale 14-5. Pittsburgh earns the sweep, but as we head into the All-Star break, Milwaukee still leads Chicago by 5 games in the division. St. Louis is 8.5 out. The MLB draft is come and gone. The Brewers using their 20th and final selection on someone with a familiar name, Karsten Sabathia III, the son of Brewers Hall of Famer C.C. Sabathia. He's not a pitcher, though. He's a first baseman from the University of Houston. Hour 2 of the Huddle starts now. I'm Doug Russell on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love.
Everybody wake up! Everybody wake
with the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you, you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with the number of cameras.
Take the cameras off the field, and there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on one. Ready, be alert for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 get. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red right 18 Bob on one. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here and try to run this play in the alley.
We know exactly what we got to do. All right? That's all we're going to y'all do. Let's go out and kick the tape. All right? Hey, yo. 1, 2, 3.
Keep doing what you're doing. You got to sit our guys after them and make the play.
Be right all the way outside. Wide, left, fake, 396 bag, D-hand, C-puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmid,
Oh my God, this man's been out all night.
Armen, Sarian.
This is it. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
You are looking live at the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin, 920 Milwaukee, 1070 Madison, worldwide iHeartRadio app, streaming live, Facebook, X, and YouTube. Drew, Billy, and Armen bringing it to you on a Game Balls and Kicks to the Balls Monday. Oh, baby. We got some in the bank from the weekend.
Yeah, there's a vast and ever expanding, Drew, as some would say, group of game balls and kicks to the balls to get into from Monday.
Today, Home Run Derby Day.
Let's go.
Philadelphia at Citizens Crank Park.
You guys ready? Oh, that's awesome. Did you just come up with that? Citizens Crank?
No, it's been
I've never heard that.
Phenomenal.
Because guys go there to crank. They hit.
I get it.
I mean, the Hitters Park.
Blasted.
And they're going to be using Titleists tonight.
Yes.
Cranking it. Yeah, is that must-watch TV for you guys? I mean, it's on. So
it's on Netflix, by the way.
It's on Netflix, and it's on. So I think that we watch whatever's on a lot of times this part of the year. I mean, famously, Drew, these were the 2 times of the year there were no professional sports on until the WNBA started.
I am a simple man. I like watching balls go very, very far.
Back.
This is always must-watch TV for me. The Home Run Derby, when I was growing up, I would watch far more of the Home Run Derby than I would the All-Star.
We would gather around for this in the 90s and stuff back when you were a kid. There's no doubt this was a big deal. I just don't know if it's still that, or maybe I'm curious to see Netflix production of it and everything like that. So it'll be on. Let's put it that way.
It's I've already placed a text to our guy Matt Vasgersian.
All right.
Let's give Matty a game ball.
What's up,
Yeah,
Matty?
let's give him a game ball right out of the gates. Come on Netflix.
I texted Matty today. Oh, by the way, game balls and kicks. The tradition, unlike any other, we award game balls for a job well done. Armen's got the soundbite ready. What is it, Armen?
Into the river, and Andrew Fisher's got 9 AA home runs.
I was looking for something positive. He
Well,
went
all right.
crazy. So
I like
something.
that.
There we go.
There's one for you.
I like that. That's our game ball sound today. And conversely, the kick to the balls is what?
If I didn't decommit, I probably wouldn't be on the books right now. So.
Oh, you were sitting on that one.
No.
I couldn't help myself.
Oh.
It was all over. It was all over my timeline, and with upset,
all right.
angry, foaming at the mouth Badger
Okay,
fans that
so
didn't like Tyler.
we'll get to that, but those are our game balls and kicks.
Sorry,
but
it's there.
The first game ball of the day goes to Matt Vasgersian because he's calling the Home Run Derby with Hunter Pence and Anthony Rizzo tonight on Netflix.
Yes.
Into the river, and Andrew Fisher's got 9 AA home runs.
And I texted Matty, and because I'm flashing back to when I was covering the Brewers and he was the TV guy, and it would get to be the All-Star break, we would basically spend it hanging out, like sucking down drinks on the patio at the Harp.
Taking advantage of all the sunshine.
Go
that you weren't
somewhere
able to,
and watch the Home Run Derby and rip Chris Berman. And I said, and just think, tonight there's going to be thousands of jagoffs sitting on patios ripping you.
Ripping Matty V.
You've made it. Congratulations. You've made it.
Did he text you? Were you texting him that? Or
I texted him that just this morning. He's not up yet, but I'm sure
he'll
he's,
love it. I mean, he loves.
He will. He loves that
he
stuff.
Loves that
stuff. Because it's so funny. It's
amazing. That's amazing.
See, and he will appreciate that the memory and the thought that that's right. We
now,
did do that.
How many Santa Marias do you think we'll get from Matty tonight? Would it have to be a triple decker? Like you got to hold that off for a special one. I would.
You kind of have to.
The
Yeah.
thing is, Santa Maria became his big one, but he had like 100 of the Santa Marias.
He did.
You know?
All his calls
He
were.
had so many good ones,
Yeah.
and listen, a young Armen was a Matt Vasgersian fanboy those last 5 years of the '90s when he was in Milwaukee, and I still remain to this day. So I remember all the, he had like, don't bring the meatloaf and the pudding.
Yeah, you can't have your meat. You can't have your pudding if you don't eat your meat. And you will report to the stables tonight and every night without that pledge pin.
And this is internet existed, but not
He
really.
did all the movie drops, movie
So
references.
He just kept coming up with
his greatest hits were greatest hits.
Hey,
There's
that's
no
awesome.
doubt.
Good
But
stuff.
yeah, he was. But I distinctly remember us just ripping Berman and the ESPN presentation of it,
And now we wish we had it back.
and we were the Greek chorus.
Oh
back
God,
then.
it had to be. What Chris Berman is so much better than whatever on earth they put together over the last couple of years.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm very glad that we have a new production of the home run.
But we'll see how it goes tonight.
But I don't know what is happening to my favorite event of All-Star Week. Do we know, is the celebrity and legend softball game right after? Is that going to be on Netflix or is that going to be on ESPN again?
Great question. I
I
really
don't know if it was already held because I think it might have been a tape delay deal. I know.
Oh,
they
it's
did
always a good
Futures
tape
game,
delay
and
deal,
then
yes.
they might have. Maybe it was after the Futures game, or it might have been a different entity.
They did a different version yesterday. They did a 3-on-3 special that they fired up yesterday. That was very entertaining. Three on three home run derby style baseball. It was a shootout kind of deal that they had. They were hitting balls from like in between the pitcher's mound and second base. Ryan Howard was out there. Jimmy Rollins was just raking. Jordan Mailata, left tackle for the Philadelphia Eagles, was out there hitting some homers. T.O. was doing sit-ups and hitting homers.
Yeah,
so it was an entertaining deal that they had yesterday and a rather packed up ballpark. The All-Star Week they actually still put on somewhat of a good show. That tape delay Legends softball game, though, was always one of my absolute favorites. Now, I don't know how on earth with these hours I'd be able to stay up for it, though, because usually that fires up in the sunshine at 10 o'clock at night on the tape delay.
That's one thing.
That's going to be a tough watch for me tonight to be back in here tomorrow morning.
You know how when they wax nostalgic about like the glory days of leagues and how they, kind of improved over the years. And they always say, back in the day, this was only on tape delay in the finals. This is the one thing that's still on tape delay. Like that's
still on tape delay. Oh yeah. 100%.
Streaming and things like that. The celebrity game, which was always fun. It's like the NBA celebrity game, but then waned in popularity when it just became influencers I've never heard of.
Yeah.
or streamers or
YouTubers.
Like I realize
I'm
losing the culture. These kids all know who these guys are. And I'm like, can I just get some regular celebrities? Like, isn't there a Matt Damon anywhere I could just get can I get some regular celebrities?
Regular celebrities.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Game ball as well to our pal Adam McKelvey.
Into the river, and Andrew Fisher's got 9 double-A home runs.
Great dude, but he wrote a story that posted over the weekend, and I just love this kind of stuff. It was about Contreras, how he corrects his pitchers by firing 100-mile-an-hour fastballs back to the mound when he wants them to focus.
Back. Yes.
That was phenomenal because that's the kind of stuff that you notice when you watch a team every day, and he got all the pitchers to talk about it, and it's his way. It's like he doesn't need a mound visit. If he wants you to get on your game and hey,
figure it out here.
He fires one back 100 miles an hour at your chest.
That's how you know how he feels about you.
And the quote is the best that Adam has in the piece after he says, it's like, let's bleeping go. I don't care if it hits him. He has to catch it, and then the next pitch better be a strike.
Yeah.
Let's make sure that thing's a strike because it's something to wake him up when you don't have a mound, when you can't use mound visits every single time. And I don't want to walk that far.
Yeah, Kyle Harrison said, I read it as let's attack. Sometimes you get caught up in your thoughts, and that breaks it up. It's like, let's reset. Well, you're catching the ball to preserve yourself.
Yeah, I was going to say to protect.
Those are the things that don't show up in box scores, right? That little
Logan
leadership.
Henderson said, it doesn't even catch you off guard anymore. I like it. It's accountability. It's kind of like an unspoken language out there.
Right.
Because once they limited now, Nestor Corridor said he started doing it with Payamps and Peguero, the Latin brothers, and now he does it with everybody. He did it to Miz, and then he's like, what does it mean, Miz? It means figure your bleep out. It's so good.
It's so well done, too, because Adam puts the videos and the examples of him in there. And Miz, after he gets the one on opening day, looks back like, dude, come on, seriously?
Yeah. Harrison said, I got warnings from some of the other guys that it could happen. So when it did happen, I was ready. Just get that glove up because it gets on you.
I love that.
And it's like he does it. Brandon Sproat, it's every game. I get them in the bullpen. In the game, I enjoy it. It's his way of saying, put your foot on the gas.
Well, the Brandon Spro. Let's listen then once in a while.
Then, yeah, exactly. Shane Drowan said, "Thankfully, it's usually a good throw back. It's always right to your chest. If it was anywhere else, it could be a problem."
Yeah, that's a good one.
And Drowan's been pitching really, really well, and you've started to see more and more Contreras. We heard a lot of the work that he's done and the say that he's got with the Latin players like Luis Lara. When he signs the contract, he tells William Contreras that he gets the offer before he even calls his family. But what he's done with that young staff is phenomenal. Even like Aaron Ashby quoted in there as well about how much he appreciates him sending that thing back.
Yeah, I love it. They should use the radar gun to clock his return throws back to the pitcher.
They should. You got to be careful with Miz though, because if you get him mad enough, he'll throw it right back to you at 105.
No, he's already throwing 104. How much extra juice can he have?
I don't know that he's got any more in there, but Miz is just the guy that's going to sit there and take it. Like if anybody would question him on it, I would have to think it would be Uribe.
Yeah, that's true. He'd be the one guy to like come back at him, like, "What are you doing?" and like actually have an issue with it. That's pretty funny. That's a good observation, Billy. Yeah.
He'd find something in there as well to be able to send him back.
But you don't know what kind of small margin, small edge that would have helped the Brewers pitchers over the years get refired up, refocused, and that's the type of stuff that'll never show up. But
again, why you got to re-sign that dude? You got to find a way to find the money to sign that guy,
even if it's for only a few years. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you got to do something, right? I mean, isn't he so important to the team? We do this a lot with guys, but it doesn't seem like he is.
He is. 877-794-1973. Floor is open for game balls and kicks to the balls. Billy, what you got holstered up?
I got a big kick to the cojones for one Ward Manuel.
If I didn't decommit, I probably wouldn't be on the books right now. So,
Ward Manuel, the AD at Michigan, who apparently news came out last night that the Michigan Board of Regents has scheduled a meeting for Thursday afternoon, where they'll discuss a myriad of different topics, guys, including the future of Ward Manuel. Well, as the athletic director who's won in your time as the AD since 2016, a national football championship and a national basketball championship, you wouldn't think that you'd be in any position to get moved off of, right? Well, then when you've had to fire multiple coaches because of allegations, that might be a little bit different. So there was a massive investigation into the Michigan Athletic Department after the Sharon Moore situation happened a year ago. That followed up the Jim Harbaugh exit, which included the Connor Stallions situation and the shine stealing debacle at the University of Michigan. So the investigation under Ward Manuel is imminent, and Thursday's board meeting expected to release the date. And the Chicago law firm Jenner and Block was commissioned after Sharon Moore's arrest to research the culture of the athletic department. And Drew, several sources have said to expect a, quote, significant black eye for the department. And it does not sound like even winning. There's our friend Matt LePay says some very, very intelligent things about college sports. I don't think there's anything better that he has put on these airwaves than don't be found guilty of anything other than losing.
It's usually a big thing.
That's usually the most important thing. Well, Ward Manuel has found that winning doesn't solve everything there, especially if you have to gas 3 different coaches and lose multiple outside of the hiring cycle. One goes to the NBA. Congratulations. One goes to jail. It's a different deal when one hits probation and one goes to the association for the folks there in Michigan, and they are finding themselves in some water once again.
I wonder if now that we know about this, it affected Dusty May in any way, or vice versa. I wonder if Dusty May leaving was like, they're like, all right, well, we're just going to start investigating now, or we're going to start meeting about your future.
This is like a full year-long
the investigation
breakdown,
was,
though.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
But I bet I hear you, like the gas pedal gets pushed down
Something
to
like
the floorboard when Dusty May decides to go and coach Cooper Flagg. Something to it, and quickly he is out the door. Maybe we'll find out on Thursday there in Michigan.
That's right. Game balls and kicks, 877-794-1973. Keep them flowing into the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line because it's always fun. How about a kick to the huevos to Ryan O'Hearn?
if I didn't decommit, I probably wouldn't be on the books right now. So,
good player. A little pissed that he got hit 3 times over the course of a couple of days.
Yeah, he was very, very upset. Very upset.
But okay, I get it. No one likes that. And you want to the bat taken out of your hands, and it's a frustrating deal. But the first one was a changeup in the foot.
Thank you.
And it's like, we weren't trying to hit you in the foot with a changeup.
No, if we're going to hit you, you'll know that we're.
The last one was one that you might get pissed about. But then he said, I don't think Gasser did it on purpose. Just tired of getting hit 3 games in a row. I let out my frustration, went to first base, and it was their manager who followed me down to the end of their dugout to call me names. Everything was totally fine and handled fine. I got to first base, and their manager followed me down to first base to call me names, which is crazy because I had a ton of respect for the guy. I've never seen that before.
Let's go, Pat. Let's go, Pat.
He looked
It's
at the Brewers dugout
ball,
and he flashed the 3. That's the third time. It's like, dude, you're not good enough for us to hit.
Exactly.
You're a nice
What are we
player,
doing
but we're
here?
not hunting you. Like we don't have a grudge. It's just look at our pitchers. Look at the way they're throwing.
Thank you.
Come on.
The second one, Drew, it was a 4-0 game. Gasser has been struggling to get anything over the plate. And my man is up 0-2 in the count and hits you in the middle of the back.
Yeah.
You think that's where the 0-2 pitch was supposed to go, brother? Come on, get
It's
over
like,
yourself.
It's a guy that I think something like that, you enjoy feeling that way about yourself because you want to think you're the guy it's like main character energy. You want to think you're the guy everyone's looking at that has to get hit because you want to think of yourself as a star. That's it. That's what it strikes. The whole thing strikes to me, as a guy that wants everyone to think, wants himself to think he's that important to get hit.
Now, the Orioles and Rockies had a little bench clearing thing because Blaze Alexander, great baseball name.
Great
Blaze.
name, yes.
Blaze Alexander got hit on the left hand and then he suffered a non-displaced fracture. And so that I could, they're woofing it there.
That I could see. Yeah.
Well, you're going to be out for a while and that sucks. But yeah, O'Hearn, they weren't hitting you on purpose. My favorite HBP story of many, there were many, like the one when after Prince Fielder and the Brewers did the bowling pin celebration at home plate. Well, the next spring, Barry Zito hit Prince with about a 75-mile-an-hour pitch in the back, and it was like it was clear payback, but he wasn't really trying to drill him, but because Barry Zito didn't want to hit Prince. Prince has got 150 pounds on him.
Here you go. You got to hit Fielder. Are you sure?
And it was, I think he might have been but he hit him in the back with like an off speed. He wasn't throwing
huge. Wasn't one of those big slow curves.
Yeah, it was that was one of a Zito things.
But caught it almost.
But after Jeffrey Hammonds got released by the Brewers, and Armen will probably remember this because he was signed. He was their big signing when they announced that they were opening Miller Park and they had money. They went and got him. He was non-tender. He was an all-star for Colorado.
It was a huge big
but
deal.
He was non-tendered because he wasn't that good.
They were okay letting
but the
him walk.
Brewers suddenly had a lot of money in their pockets because people were sponsoring the new stadium and buying tickets. And so they gave him like 3 at $21 million, the biggest contracts they'd ever given at the time. He ended up not doing very well, and he got released. And then the next year he's in camp with the Giants. In his first AB, somebody's working on something and hits him. And he's walking at first, staring at the dugout, and they're screaming back at him like, "We wouldn't hit you on purpose. You're an out. We saw your acts. Like, why would we hit you?" That's what that's what they were screaming back. The entire dugout was screaming back at him. But I think it was like Jerry Royce were like, "Why would we hit you? You're an out.
You're the only guy we can get out.
You're out. We wouldn't hit you."
Yeah, and it's funny to think of 321 or whatever that was about that. Yeah. It's a big deal, but it was back then.
It was back then. It was the biggest one. It was a big
Brewers.
Yeah,
and it was
the
just
one
such
free
a
agent
bad
they could get at that price,
and he did nothing. It was such a bad deal.
He actually got released right a couple of days before his bobblehead day, and he got released, and then they just changed it to like Brewers bobblehead day.
Smart.
And sources close to my situation said they ended up having to like throw 10 or 15,000 of them into the dumpsters.
I bet. Pallets.
It was just like pallets of them.
Like, what on earth
leftovers?
Taking up so much stuff in here. Come on. Right. You also could tell that O'Hearn wasn't really about that action because Gary Sanchez didn't even get up out of the squad.
Yep.
Right. Like, I mean, Sanchez, I think, would be about that life if indeed he needed to be. And he wasn't taking any umbrage to it. Gary Sanchez would have split in there. But get over yourself, Ryan O'Hearn. Come on. How about a game ball here quickly before we hit a quick timeout to Sophie Cunningham?
Into the river, and Andrew Fisher's got 9 double-A home runs.
The only bright spot of the main event for UFC 329 was Sophie Cunningham being the guest ring girl as she walked around with the round 1 before Conor McGregor's ACL blew up.
And when I first saw that, I said, "Man, AI's getting out of control." Like, did you guys see this AI of Sophie Cunningham's a ring girl? Oh, wait a minute, that really happened.
Nope, really happened.
Yeah.
Really happened.
It's just hard to differentiate.
And she was like on a boat over the weekend too.
She was living it up in Vegas. And then
on a boat.
And then in the same vein, kick to the balls to the UFC graphics department.
If I didn't decommit, I probably wouldn't be on the books right now. So
because they had a very famous boxer who Dana White talked about paying a load of money to just to be in attendance and then also to be a part of the boxing promotion that he's in. We didn't realize apparently he's the third Jalen Williams that the Oklahoma City Thunder have.
Oh my!
Pop it up. Oklahoma City Thunder guard Jalen Williams. I'm like, wait a second. That guy's about a foot shorter than Jalen Williams. And that's not J-Dub. And Dana White then promptly after said, we do the celebrity thing worse than absolutely bleeping everybody. It's like I paid this guy to show up and we can't even put his name right. That's a tough scene. That's a tough scene. Then the main event happened and it was even tougher.
Boy, yeah, he was a little chapped.
He was
a little chapped. Dana White was a little fired up. Love it. All right, 877-794-1973. Keep the game balls and kicks of the balls flowing. It's going to be a hot day in Wisconsin today. 94 tomorrow, 97 for a high, 94 on Wednesday. Let's heat it up. We're in the middle of the summer and we're in the middle of the show, which means Scott Dolphin is going to join us next. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Drew, Billy, and Armen bring it to you, the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin, 920 Milwaukee, 1070 Madison, everywhere on the iHeart app, streaming live, Facebook, X, and YouTube. And we are joined by our pal, halftime correspondent Scott Dolphin from FM 106, the country station on the Hall. Dolph, can you feel the excitement building for the home run derby tonight?
No, not really. No, I had to.
Not ready for Ben Rice to show everybody what they've been missing there?
Schwarber and Harper are going to choke, like to carry on the tradition of choking in your hometown.
Oh, a tradition unlike any other.
So what is it? We're not on a clock anymore. It's you get 20 swings. Is that what I read? They changed the format.
They got rid of the clock.
Yeah, 20 swings in the first round. I think 15 in the second round, and the tiebreakers are what they should be, a swing off. I think if you get first round is distance. I think the longest homer hit
tiebreak is distance.
That, and then I think going forward it is the swing off.
Swing off for three pitches or something.
But again, it's just like if you go and talk to a bunch of kids playing a home run derby over at Whitnell Park, how are they doing the rules? That should be the rules. That's how we're not doing anything that's too difficult for 12-year-olds to figure out
right
over in the lawn. Then we shouldn't be trying to craft it here in the major league.
But the problem is those kids don't have the whole internet then complaining. Did they ruin their swing for the second half by hitting too many long balls? That's like the next tradition.
Now they got travel ball dads for that. They don't need the
actually,
internet.
you're right about that. They do because they have to go.
Don't you kids go be swinging for the fences like that. You got to be hitting line drives out there right center. There's a lot of gap over there, a lot of green grass over there. You got to hit them where they ain't.
Because they have to take a road trip to like Cincinnati or Louisville or Greenville, South Carolina to play a team from down the street. You know what I mean?
We always go back to who was the guy from the Phillies that hit 42 home runs and then he just was a mess the second half of the season.
Would that be Bobby Abreu?
Bobby Abreu, yes.
Bobby Abreu put a show on at the home run derby.
There's a lot of guys, a lot of examples, but then it's also
Burnett's had a good
bias.
turn at the home run derby on your Fenway, I think 99, and then he kind of
slid down a little bit.
It's happened before.
But that could have happened anyway.
So there's some truth to that. I remember my high school coach refused to allow us to play slow pitch softball when we're in the middle of our baseball
mess your
season.
swing up.
Yeah.
He didn't want you to do it.
When it's coming in at 8 miles an hour.
Ball is ball. I mean, come on. Well, you do the soft toss, the drills.
Didn't seem to ruin Churio's swing. That was a softball swing he took from the left side of the
pretty amazing
of the batter's box. It looked like in St. Louis.
Yeah,
that's a great highlight.
Probably a lot of confirmation bias there with
Great
all
highlight.
these things. Yeah.
Sure.
I was telling these guys, though, well, first of all, Home Run Derby, if you're looking for it tonight, is on Netflix. And I've been treating Home Run Derby the last few years like I treat the ESPYs. Like, if it's on a TV and I walk by, I'll glance at it and then look for the remote to turn the channel. But this one's special because our boy Matt Vasgersian is calling the Home Run Derby along with Hunter Pence and Anthony Rizzo. Netflix presentation. They got to try to spruce things up. But back when Vaz was on Brewers TV and I was doing the beat, we would spend All-Star break drinking at the Harp and other spots around Water Street and making fun of Chris Berman during the Home Run Derby. And I told him now there's all these Jagoffs going to be watching him, making fun of him. And it's just to think of those guys.
It's so true.
When right before they go on, he's got to be thinking about those guys.
You really have to create your own entertainment, right? Especially if somebody's struggling at the plate. I mean, I guess you have to go with stacks of notes before you get on the air.
Those guys they'll just chop it up. It'll be fun. But then there's a circus because it's Netflix. They got Michael Irvin walking around because he's got a podcast on Netflix. They
Barry
got Barry Bonds is involved.
Elle Duncan is apparently the face of Netflix Sports. I didn't realize.
She is.
Okay.
So what?
I didn't know Netflix Sports was a
I don't know what this is going to look like, but it goes back to the season opener when the Giants played and Maddie was on the call and it was on Netflix. Giants Yankees, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I mean it's a thing.
I get these little mini anxiety attacks when I try to find something. I'm glad you told me that because I would have been looking for it on ESPN obviously tonight. Yesterday, I'm like, where's the Brew? I can't find the damn game. Where is it?
You're asking Siri. Where's? Hey Siri, what network has the? That happens to me with Marquette in Wisconsin when they're on Peacock. I'm like, where the hell is the game?
Then she says, "Try harder, stupid."
It's frustrating.
Well, that was rude. You didn't have to do that.
Yeah, but
Siri.
I think that will be interesting tonight because there's going to be a lot of people that are so. And this is one of those things. It's been on ESPN for 30 years.
Yeah, I was going to say my whole life it's been on ESPN.
Yeah.
You know, you mentioned Siri. Have you noticed Alexa has an edge now? The latest version of Alexa, she'll talk back to you a little bit.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I gotta test this out.
Really? Talking slang terms, yeah.
Because my little guy has learned Siri, and he just asks her for baseball scores, right? So Siri gives off the baseball scores. She'll read that pretty well. But I do need to have some with a little bit of attitude.
To talk back a little bit.
Just to let him know.
You mentioned Siri, and it's like my phone's.
I was gonna say fired up.
Yeah.
I gotta find the voice that's gonna kick back a little bit more edge because the 3-year-old's gonna bring some edge every once in a while. So you need to be able to respond with that.
Yeah, and AI is getting there right now. I mean, it isn't to the point of insults, but I noticed Alexa kind of in a smaller form of what you just said, Billy, where it's, well, that's been out forever. I mean, like, where you been? She'll come back with stuff like that.
Why do you think that is? Do you think people really want a personality to interact with?
I think they want them to be more human.
Because they're so lonely, they want them more human, like ChatGPT, because they need a real companion, a real friend.
But they know they can't be a guaranteed human.
That's a great point. They can't be because
they can't mimic that.
Yeah.
No.
And my thing is, I wonder if they did some market research saying, no, a lot of dudes that use Siri want a little bit of personality again because that's what's popular now and I don't know, whatever.
What are you trying to forecast?
I'm just saying, whatever websites are popular now, we're in a gig economy with OnlyFans and things like that. It's just like there's more personality involved, there's more human. I don't know. I'm sure they've done a lot of research into why to help the business.
Yeah.
People will respond more to a little, it's just weird, isn't it? The world we're in now, world we're in. I don't know.
ChatGPT is scary good, but like anything AI, they still have a long way to go. And I'm sure that day's coming when they take over and we're done.
Yeah.
They're doing it. They're doing it well in the music world. This Puerto Rico song that's been out for about a year and a half.
Puerto Rico.
It's been locked into my brain.
I think people don't care what's real. Some people don't care what's real anymore as long as they can think it's real enough or it seems real enough to them. That something fake
it's like the guy. It's like the guy at the wrestling event. It's real to me, damn it.
That's exactly it. So, hey, who knows?
Like Drew. I mean, he's all about AI music.
All about it.
Loves it.
Love it. Yeah.
I like that. I like that. Somehow we go from AI to OnlyFans to AI OnlyFans. Somehow in the midst of one conversation, whenever Armen gets the depth.
That's right.
That's impressive. That's impressive depth that we have on this show.
I'm just saying, touch grass people a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you want to get someone mad at you and give you personality, you can talk to a real person. There you go. All right.
Stop following the Instagram hotties whose pictures of the gym have signs in the background that are illegible, that are just fake. Like, come on, it is just all fake. Come on, people.
I'm not that perceptive.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well,
that's true.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
When I saw Sophie Cunningham in the ring, I wasn't either. I'm like,
I thought it couldn't be real.
Well,
it was so real and it was fantastic.
She didn't really tramp it up that much, though. She kept it demure.
She did. No, 100%.
Very mindful. Very
blew
demure.
one kiss there at the end, and that was about it.
No heels or anything. It wasn't even wearing shoes. I don't know if you noticed that.
She gets more. She gets more tarted up for the walk-in videos.
I was going to say, that's more of even a hype deal for that one.
So you have the WNBA this week, which some say is the slowest week once we get past the All-Star game, right? That's Wednesday, Thursday.
Oh, yeah.
So, but we're going to have the WNBA, the World Cup. Is there anything else I'm missing?
World Cup is a godsend for us now, which is going to be,
And Wednesday, there is a semifinal game. England, Argentina.
They could have even pushed it just one tick over, right? If they would have went Wednesday, Thursday, it would have really been a big saver. But I'll hand raised in air. I was yesterday years old when I realized that there is a third place game in the World Cup.
I didn't know that either.
Still play it.
I did not know they actually still play a third place game in the World Cup, and that one's also coming up.
They
on
were
Sunday.
playing that in the NCAA up until like 70, I think.
Early 80s. The only reason I
it?
know is my team, Iowa, played in the consolation game of the NCAA tournament in 1980 or 81. Yeah, and it was like awful.
People were
it's not it wasn't televised. It was like at 4:30, 5 o'clock on a Monday afternoon, and nobody freaking cared.
Except for gamblers, probably.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's why we have a third place game for the World Cup.
Yeah, 100%.
France and Spain tomorrow, and then England, Argentina on Wednesday.
Absolute heavyweights of the sport.
They are. They are. Although England has something to prove. It's been 50 years, 60 years, 60 years since they've won
60 years since England won a cup. Harry Kane's trying to end that.
They're kind of the Cubs of the World Cup.
So they're in a unique spot because it's very rare that it seems like the whole world's going to be cheering for England.
They're kind of like which is they were like the Cowboys of the sport for a while, like everyone of it. But I guess they're like
plenty of folks are saying the winner of France-Spain is like that's like the title game.
So that was Michigan. That's Michigan, Arizona. That's the championship game.
Pretty much. That's about
and,
how it's going to roll.
And Yamal said France should be scared of us. When they asked, are they nervous about France? And Yamal said, why they should be scared of us. So a little heat there.
There's nothing wrong with that.
There were some great matches. I mean, you talk about the Switzerland situation, and then the ball that hit the wire cam or the camera. And
that sucked.
That was the other
one.
So,
awful.
And the absolute, some of the goals were incredible. So it was great action over the weekend.
That first goal in extra time was disgusting. That was
just
a
crazy.
Heck of a kick that
just an amazing dot. And then you had Norway dreaming early on. They had the 1-0 lead. And they thought they could have won, and then they had the VAR call.
Other than the U.S., I'm going to miss Norway the most.
That was a great story.
The dude with the chiseled Norse looks.
Just awesome.
Come on.
Great uniform.
Drago.
Legitimate Viking running out there. Yeah, it's not going to play the
The
same.
row
was cool.
It was. There was a band from Norway at Summerfest a week ago Saturday, and they had everybody rowing in the Aurora Pavilion.
You know how the Vikings stole the whole skull thing?
They're trying to steal that
The
one.
Gophers and PJ Fleck got to get everybody rowing that boat like that, right?
Yeah,
Don't
that's
they?
a spot
Isn't
on
that
deal,
going to
Doc.
happen?
That's
That's
the
going to
amen
happen.
drill.
I've
Yes.
not seen it. Maybe they already do it. I don't pay a lot of attention since my kid doesn't go there anymore. but-
Mhm. No, row the boat, Sky Yuma. I mean, that's exactly their
That's
deal.
their whole
I don't
deal,
know
but-
how
but
on earth he's not trying to
He
steal
brought
the
the row your boat with him from,
from Western Michigan. Yeah.
So,
But they don't actually, crowds don't actually do these things in our, like, I hate to say it, American crowds are just
they
not
won't
that
wear the T-shirt,
coordinated.
Armen.
The only thing they do coordinated, is the stupid wave.
Is the wave. It
And we
never
don't
goes
need the
away.
wave anymore.
Oh,
all
wait,
right?
tarp's off now.
Tarps off's the best thing that happened to
Well,
American crowds because they actually do it and it's actually coordinated. Unlike people can't put the shirt on. Everyone is rowing the boat
Because
together.
again, it doesn't fit.
I got Armen
Like
going.
we're going in on this shirt deal. They don't fit.
Okay, fine.
They're mediums. If you really wanted people to put the shirt on, put a 3XL over there and tarp it up.
We could do that. But listen, or tarps. What is this? This thing fell off.
Oh, boy.
Breaking some over there?
Oh,
Yeah, he's so fired up. I got him fired up just by mentioning the T-shirt. Because Dolph, he gets mad when they drape the T-shirts, the free T-shirts over the seats, and then you don't have to fight for the Gruber Law ones that come from the sky.
And then
Right.
nobody wears them. Is that why you're upset, Armen?
He says no one puts on the shirt.
From Gruber Law.
But then, what's the worst look of those guys that come, like the guys who work at a Northwestern Mutual and Baird and go to a Marquette game or a Bucks game, and then they put the T-shirt on over the Oxford dress shirt?
That's a good
That's
look.
the worst look there is, man.
The basketball jersey over the dress shirt has to take the cake. Is
That's
by far
pretty
the
bad.
worst one you're seeing.
My wife has shamed me into not wearing those shirts, Armen, because she'll say, "Oh, great, yeah. Why don't you wear it out now? Because there's 40,000 people that are going to wear that exact same T-shirt."
Oh my goodness.
Although I did put on the Summerfest hat on opening day, the white script Summerfest Milwaukee hat. I wore that for a couple hours.
One?
Yeah,
That
that's a nice hat.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet hat.
Did you take it home with you? Did you wear it, or did you
I
just
did. I
dispose of it and put it in your pocket?
clipped it on my belt
Oh,
like a
that's
real
look.
man.
What's up,
Yeah.
Dad? Yeah.
and walked
Put it on
around
the
with
belt.
that thing.
By your cell phone.
He put it opposite of his cell phone holster.
Holster.
The holster for the cell phone.
And it hasn't been worn since,
Oh,
but it's
good
sitting at
golly.
home in all its glory.
If we did some of these, I mean, can you imagine the entire American family field doing the row the boat thing together? Don't you think that would fire up our team and help them win? Come on. I just have these dreams and these things.
I think it'd be fun. You know, speaking of American
We
Family
should
Field,
tap then if we're doing
Well,
anything.
I'm not saying specifically that.
Yeah.
I'm saying the same thing. Like close thing. We had Buckethead Brigade once upon a time.
yeah,
Doing
Right.
That's true.
We did do some of those things.
that's
together.
true. You think
Oh,
about the Bucks, shouting out Andrew Deladova. What was that section called? That
Quad
they had
Six,
seven.
Sector 7.
those
Oh, yeah,
Bogut
100%.
Billy.
yeah.
Bogut bought Squad 6. Yeah, that was one of his greatest contribution. Got the fans going.
He was
I can
very
dream.
excited too about it. He was very, very excited too about it. He's like, we need to get this place live.
Well,
Said,
I mean,
quiet.
And the guy and the Spurs had their stripe out, and I know Wemby. We're looking at now. Wemby signed the max extension, but Wemby tried to start the drum thing, if you remember that, after Spurs
Oh,
game,
yeah.
and he pretty much told the whole crowd, "This is our new tradition. We're gonna smack the drum after the game." This was earlier in the season. They light the beam in Sacramento. They're trying to do these.
Yeah, that
things.
light the beam really worked out for them in Sacramento.
right.
I'm with you though. Just watching the European soccer fans and how coordinated they are. Even it doesn't even have to be a battle cheer for their team. They're just hilarious. The stuff they come up
It's just
with.
fun. It's just fun.
What you're sounding like you want, Armen, is you want to watch college football.
You're right. College football student sections are the one place, and not even just student sections. That's where we do it the most.
You watch a lot of SEC football, you'll hear a lot of the chants.
College football in general is more entertaining than the NFL as far as the off-field stuff goes. I mean,
all the pageantry.
The band gets you hyped when you go to a Badger
Even waving
game.
to the kids. I mean, at Kinnick, obviously.
There you go. That's another
That's
thing.
a great
You're right.
example. The songs they sing at certain, stadiums. Everyone's got a song now. It feels
Oh,
like,
yeah.
you know.
Right.
So
Rocky Top.
Yeah.
My favorite is down in Baton Rouge. We can't say what they say on that one on the radio though. When they say "suck that," but in the midst of it, Herbie said that too, Dolph. Where when he started doing Thursday night football, he's like, "Wait a second, I pull up to the best college football games for the last 2 decades, and these atmospheres are unhinged." Then you roll up to a Thursday night crowd in the NFL, and you're like, wait a second, is this a high school game that I'm at? What are we doing here? There's no juice.
And don't get me wrong, the NFL experience is incredible, and the energy you feel once starting lineups and they could run out of the tunnel. But up until that point, it's nothing like college football.
It's a totally different atmosphere, no doubt about it.
Derek and Whitewater. I wonder if chicks are going to start thinking I'm cool now when I'm actually on the lake in my rowboat. I think you got a long way to go for that.
Well, I could be.
Yeah. Well.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
Bro.
I think Derek's a cool guy.
Well, yeah, but because of the rowing?
Yeah.
He's saying because of the
rowing.
rowing.
You got some sweet lats probably at that point.
I don't know if it's as exciting to watch just one dude do it. Maybe, Derek. Give it a go. Let us know.
We need to get the rowing team at Madison who sends out all the letters to anybody that's over 6 foot and over 200 pounds in high school gets that rowing letter. We need that club to fire up a row champ. That would be the way you get the digital asset.
I always think of it. That's how the Hollywood celebrities got in trouble by putting their kids on the rowing team at these different universities, right?
Ooh, Felicity Huffman.
Felicity Huffman.
Oh, baby.
Well, Lori Loughlin, obviously. And Lori Loughlin, she's divorced now from Massimo, I think. They're divorced.
They are.
They pretty much all blame him for that deal. They said she was a victim.
She's a victim, all right, for sure.
You just love that show, didn't you?
Yeah.
I love Lori Loughlin.
His favorite show.
Well, the show, yes.
Yeah. Oh, the show, yes.
Oh, God.
My goodness. Armen.
Crazy.
Oh, my God. So, Dolph, thanks for this is day one of the week, the slow week. There's no such thing as a slow week in sports, just slow sports hosts.
That's a good way of putting it.
We're going to have fun.
Yes, let's go.
Yeah, we ain't that.
Yep. We're going to have fun. Thanks, Dolph.
Thanks, boys.
All right. Keep them coming. Game balls and kicks, 877-794-1973. Hunter joins us about an hour from right now. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Drew, Billy, and Armen bringing it to you. It's a game, Balls and Kicks of the Balls Monday. NicoletLaw.com talking text line 877-794-1973. This portion of the program brought to you by our friends at Game Day Men's Health. I'll be visiting the Brookfield Clinic after the show. Visit them at GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Learn about their services. Find a clinic near you. Sign up for the free, no obligation consult. Go in for a half hour, meet some nice people, and see if they can change your world. GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Speaking of changing your world, oh, baby. Donovan Jorgensen Heating and Cooling. If it's going to be 95 in the next couple of days, air conditioners are going to be humming. And if your air conditioner's on the fritz, Donovan Jorgensen's, you're going to need them. You're going to need them. So check them out, DonovanJorgensen.com. They have been at it for 40 years, employee owned, and they're the best in the business. Billy, who's hot, who's not right now, brought to us by Donovan Jorgensen.
Who's hot, who's not? Let's start out with the Bucs' top draft pick. Braden Burries is hot this morning after he had himself a game-high 26 last night in the Bucs Summer League action and their wrap-up. 4 of 5 from downtown against the Spurs. And in his last 2 games combined for 40-plus points. He also had 4 threes, as I mentioned, in that game, made 3 steals, 2 blocks, 10th overall pick. Looks to be fitting the part as a legit piece that the Bucs ended up grabbing there at number 10.
I'm liking that. I like him to be hot.
I like him a lot, and I also don't love the Chicago Cubs in the hot category. 20-8 closed to the theoretical first half of the All-Star break and in the Major League Baseball season, but still sit 5 games back of the Brewers after the Brewers get swept there in Pittsburgh. Red Sox winners of 9 consecutive games. Our deal potentially of Sonny Gray and Aroldis Chapman might have to pump the brakes if indeed all of a sudden the Red Sox get back into the race.
It's true. Baseball, any given day, right? You look at the schedule, and the Brewers survived. That was kind of a death march to the finish, and they did look gassed. But they come out of the break. They're at home for a nice, long, extended 3-team homestand, and the teams are the Marlins, the Mets, and the Rockies. And then they go on the road. West Coast trips can always be tough, but they're going on the road to face the Giants and the Angels.
Yeah, should be a feastable
so
part.
It's a bit of a soft open to the second half or the post All-Star portion of the season for the Brewers.
Yeah, and the Marlins have been record-wise in the last 5-6 weeks one of the hotter teams in ball. You wonder if hopefully they end up cooling off a little bit over the All-Star break as well. Dylan Cease and Christopher Sanchez, the starters in the All-Star game, they're obviously hot. And then the not category, simply, we already know, Milwaukee Brewers not. The LA Dodgers not. They got swept by the Diamondbacks. And I don't know who we want to put in the not category or the hot category, because clearly Bam Adebayo was hot.
He was
the
hot.
reaction might be not. I think Tyler Hero's hot for going back up into Chris Haynes' microphone and talking right after, rocking a nice little shiner in every piece of Bucs memorabilia and apparel that you possibly could. But I'm going to put Bam Adebayo in the not category for their little incident there in
Will there
Las
be
Vegas.
a suspension?
Will there be a suspension? Without a video, it's hard because.
All right, so you said
that.
That was going to be one of my kicks to the balls, because everything in Vegas is on film.
Yes.
Everywhere you are, every back alley, everywhere you go in Vegas, you're being filmed from multiple angles, and we have not seen the dust up yet between.
If I didn't decommit, I probably wouldn't be on the books right now.
That's a good kick to the balls, Drew.
How can that be?
Thank you. How on earth?
TMZ? Where's the news? Where Shams, get us the video.
And we know video spurs emotion in a lot of these things. And when there's emotion, there's outcry and frenzy, and that's how the pressure gets put on for suspensions and the like. So without that, I'm not really sure. How is there not video? It's hard to believe. But maybe it's better this way because we can just imagine what would have been.
No, there's no way Resorts World doesn't have the video.
They've got video.
There's no way that it shouldn't be public, because we got the closed practice video of Draymond Green punching Jordan Poole.
That's right.
Someone's got it.
So if we got that video, we definitely need to get this one that happened in a public setting.
And it'd be nice if we had sound too, because I want to hear what the chirping was that led to it.
Yeah, I would like to hear the
And
chirping.
just- yeah, that
I'm
would
with
be-
you on that.
That's almost more important. I'd rather have
That
give it a
almost
choice.
is better. Get it
I'd
mic'd
rather have
up.
the sound than the video.
That's fair.
And we get video would give us proof that somebody was actually in Resorts World, which would be pretty amazing.
Oh,
So-
that's a good point, Armen. Ding, ding, ding.
Sorry, a little insider dig.
They have like a full setup, like a full court in there, like multiple courts for these guys are practicing.
it's a huge
This
setup.
has to be the week that there's people there.
Gotta
I'm with
be.
you. This has to be the
It would
week
be
that
the
Resorts
week.
World actually gets
That's right.
frequented.
That's right. So who's hot, who's not, brought to us by Donovan Jorgensen. And if you want to stay cool, you have Donovan Jorgensen tune up your air conditioning. If you have to go outside, you wear Iron Jock. Iron Jock has a cool offer going right now through the end of the week. Buy $30 or more of their performance apparel, like these wonderful shirts that Paulie Hansen makes that no stink, and there's no friction. There's no static buildup. Buy those and you'll get a free pair of low-cut socks. No promo code. Just go to ironjoc.com, spend $30 and get a free pair of socks. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
I'm Doug Russell. The Brewers limp into the All-Star break.
Pulls that one sharply down the line toward the corner. Gone! Just over that short wall, straight down the line. It's 5-2 Pirates.
Not sure about what it is before the break at Pittsburgh, but the Brewers got swept this weekend in the Steel City. 14-5 the final on Sunday. Taking a look at the rest of the Central, it was the Cubs over the Reds 8-4. The Cardinals lose to the Braves 4-3. So at the All-Star break, Milwaukee has a 5-game lead over Chicago. St. Louis is 8.5 games back. Pittsburgh, for what it's worth, 9.5 out. And at the baseball futures game, top overall prospect Jesus Madej singled and then later drove in the National League's lone run on an RBI ground out. The American League won the game 6-1. The Home Run Derby is tonight. The All-Star game itself is tomorrow night. The final hour of the Huddle starts now. I'm Doug Russell on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love.
Everybody wake up! Everybody wake
With the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you. You need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with the number of cameras. Take the cameras off the field, then there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on one. Ready, Biller for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 dead. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red, right, 18 Bob on one. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here and try to run this play in the alley.
We got exactly what we got to do. All right? That's all we're going to y'all do. Let's go out and kick some tape. All right? Hey, 1, 2, 3.
Keep doing what you're doing. Keep sit our guys after and make the play.
Be right all the way outside. Wide, left, fake, 396 bag, D hand, C puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmid,
Oh, my God. This man's been out all night.
Armen, Sarian.
This is it. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
Dominating a Monday. It's the Huddle. Your friends, Drew, Billy, Armen, live from headquarters, 920 Milwaukee, 1070 Madison, everywhere on the iHeart app, streaming live, Facebook, X, and YouTube to the multitudes. Let's get those streaming numbers up. Tell your friends that you listen to the Huddle. We welcome the members of the 7 o'clock club who are rising now. To the people who have been with us since 5, thank you. If you joined us at 6, no problem. You get up when you get up. We'll be here. That's the deal.
Yes, and even if you get up outside of our listening hours, that's the good thing about subscribing to Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin on YouTube. You get that notification. You can back that thing up whenever you wake up. Even if you're a second or third shift, or you wake up at 9 or 10 o'clock, it's 5 a.m. whenever you turn it on. So enjoy it. You're ready to roll.
Indeed, and we have already a plea in the 7 o'clock hour from Wisconsin Sports Fanatic, who clearly is a 7 o'clock clubber. He said, please, let's talk baseball now. Well, we talk plenty so far, but we can
certainly have.
We can keep doing it if you want.
We will talk more of it when our boy Hunter Baumgardt joins us in about 20 minutes.
That is absolutely the case. We'll have a whole segment dedicated to the Brewers and baseball. Home Run Derby tonight. It's on Netflix. Our buddy Matt Vasgersian is going to be on the call.
Can't wait for that. And
he is with Anthony Rizzo and Hunter Pence.
Yes, and a little bit of, I like to complain about sports streaming sometimes, but I haven't because this one is a service I have that I feel like a lot of people have, is Netflix. So maybe that's a little bit of a privilege on my part. Maybe I should be consistent about it, but I haven't been upset about it. Because I know I have Netflix and I know I'll be
Well, no, I mean, I wouldn't stay non-consistent with it because that would be consistent with, sports media. It's a main character syndrome. I have it, so everyone should have it.
Absolutely.
So, interestingly, and Bill and I were remarking on this because we have Sports Center on throughout the program. I always, once in a while, over the years, I've done the heat check of what's above the fold at ESPN.com. The worldwide leader, they think of themselves as the New York
place
Times,
to be.
the New York Times of sports. We set the agenda.
All the
of what
sports
people
news
will talk about.
that's fit to
The
print
sports
type of
world.
thing.
Yeah, so it's like what's above the fold. And Billy and I were remarking, if you're looking for like previews of the home run derby and stuff, since it's not on ESPN, they've buried that story. However, at ESPN.com right now, the lead story above the fold in the main prime position is the MLB draft. MLB draft tracker, complete results for 20 rounds, day one analysis. Day one winners, losers, just what you'd expect, then a whole bunch of surprises. Who knocked it out of the park on Saturday? I'm surprised they didn't lead with more WNBA than ahead of that, but that's shocking. But hardly any mention. You need the Hubble telescope to find anything about the home run derby and stuff.
This morning, when I checked, it was the Ward Manuel deal. That was the number one thing I think
for
that
sure.
I saw.
Yep.
But I would agree. I mean, it is kind of surprising because it seems like they've gotten out of the baseball business that they would lead with the draft, which is one of the things that people follow the least in Major League Baseball, I would say, unless that's changing.
Oh, by far. No, the MLB draft is still very much not a viewing thing, even though Major League Baseball desperately tried to by putting the first 10 picks of it on NBC this weekend. That was interesting to say the least. But I did watch more of it than I care to admit. And then for that to be the headliner, you can tell where the rights deals are. I mean, they now own 10% of, or the NFL now owns 10%, right? The ESPN NFL network package. So ESPN and the NFL are working together here in conjunction. Well, they're breaking down the top quarterbacks that coaches, executives, and scouts put together. Instead of, the home run derby, all-star break, I don't know, the World Cup, which has seemingly been off of their radar because it's on Fox. It's you can definitely tell quickly as to where the vested interests lie. And when it used to be they had every sport, they have the sports that they're showing on here, and they'll probably show more WWE than they will World Cup at this point. I mean, hell, they had the Miz chipping in at the American Century. They've shown more about the American Century Pro-Am than they have about the Derby coming up tonight.
So true. But they're back. They're back to the hits. They've got, should Josh Allen be the number one ranked quarterback?
Oh, God.
Will Kyler Murray or
that
McCarthy
top 10
start
quarterback
the
thing was just chum in the waters.
Well, let's go with a kick. Let's roll with a kick to the balls off of that list to one Jordan Love.
I probably wouldn't be on the books right now. So.
Jordan Love comes in, Drew, according to how their honorable mentions would stack up, 13th. Because the 9th and 10th ranked guys are dudes in the division. Jared Goff comes in at 9, Caleb Williams 10, right in front of Sam Darnold, Jaden Daniels, and Jordan Love there at number 13.
This was from players, coaches, and executives, apparently?
Executives, coaches, and scouts put together, and then they rank through all the different positions. I think Josh Jacobs was in the honorable mention category as well. What they wrote here is NFC Scout wrote for Jordan Love, I don't think he gets enough credit for playing the position consistently well, and has got the athletic traits to match it. A veteran NFL offensive coach, very vague, control of the offense, protection, and route adjustments. He has grown in those areas. So nothing negative, just not positive enough to be, as one personnel evaluator said about Caleb Williams, he's a closer. End of games, he's shown that he does it.
Yeah, last year he did show that. There's no question about that. But Jordan Love, had a really good year last year, and for stretches was absolutely consistently remarkable producing. And so I guess I thought he'd get a little more credit. Hey, so be it. Maybe it's motivation, maybe it's not. Jordan Love might not have a process when he plays that's going to wow anybody. He's not doing the Caleb Williams superstar type highlight reel throws. Maybe, and that's part of it, but he was a consistent producer for stretches last year. So, hey, hopefully he can build on that, maybe a little motivation and prove some people wrong.
Kick to the balls to anybody who gets upset about a midsummer, let's fill some space ranking.
I agree.
Well, that's a kick to the balls to
wouldn't be on the books right now. So.
Micah Parsons, because Micah Parsons responded online this weekend when the NFL Top 100 list came out and put Jordan Love at 72nd. He tweeted out instantly, little subtweet action. No way 71 players in the NFL better than Jordan Love. I love it.
I love to see
right into it. He said, come on now. I'm watching this, and this is nonsense what you guys are putting up.
That's my quarterback.
These lists are somewhere down among Madden ratings of the gajillion things that, like 900,000 on stuff that I think about, that I worry about. Like Madden rankings and,
the Madden player
summertime
ratings,
lists and Mount Rushmore debates. Okay, great.
I agree, but the Madden player ratings really matter to some of these players. They get the chains that.
But I mean, not having Sam Darnold on the list after he wins a Super Bowl, that's an interesting one to say.
How about a quick game ball to our friends and our buddy John Pearson over at My 18 and 24.
Okay, into the river, and Andrew Fisher's got 9 AA home runs.
Is this awesome?
The Bucks will be on free TV in a market near you. With stations to be determined around the state, but locally here, they've been without a TV deal. Now, I know this is a step back financially because because they're going to have to sell it themselves, and people aren't giving them money for the right to air their games and put ads on. But
there's a way to spin it, though.
They're free. They're over the air again for the first time in 31 years. You can watch all the Bucks games free over the air.
The other thing is there's also like more teams have started to do this in the NBA, and the feasibility of it is you're getting so much money pumped in by the national television package that you can absolutely subsidize it, right?
The NBA is going to help them, I think, because the cameras and the technicians and the stuff but with the broadcast, they wouldn't be able to put that on without help, I think. So
I wouldn't think so, unless I don't know how much, My 24 is potentially aiding it, or if they have anything in there. I mean, the most they do is high school sports, which they do a great production on Friday nights, but
a little bit of a different trip.
There's levels to this thing in a U.S. Bank building lobby compared to the top floor.
But it is cool that it's going to be back on free TV. I know a lot of the lamenting and complaining that we've done over the years about the business of sports, this goes the other way. Whether or not it's just a marriage of convenience or not, it's still good, I think, for fans, and it's the right time for the Bucks, who are going to have a young, to the casual fan, unknown group. They're going to have to build a fan base or build some attention around them, and this is the way to do it. I mean, let's be honest. How many people were going to pay to watch Bucks games next year that weren't already doing it? So I think this is a great timing for it. It just worked out that way. I think that the timing was right, but it'll be good to have those games on for free because they might not be that good for a while. Oh, they might be. I don't want to be too pessimistic.
And they're
but
back.
Yeah.
You knew they were going to be on TV, but it's just wild that they finally announced it. So
it had become one of the funnier stories that had no pub. Right, it really had no conversation around it. The fact that we were a couple of months away from the Bucks starting their games and not having any coverage of it, and not knowing where they'd be on TV, because it's different with Major League Baseball. A lot of us were calming the concerns about MLB because they're contractually obligated in the CBA that the league will take over the local broadcasting rights, because the local television rights, Drew, correct me if I'm wrong, are much more directly tied to your budget, your year-end budget, Major League Baseball,
no question,
compared to the NBA. It's just
for most teams, that's like more important than the gate, than the
for
attendance.
sure, 100%,
definitely,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Like the Dodgers would be profitable if they never sold a ticket.
Their salary cap would be covered with how much people are paying for that one, no doubt.
And that is still one of the as bad as some of the proposals have been from the owners in the that we've heard of the leaks and the releases. The one thing that shocked me was that the Dodgers, Yankees, Red Sox, Mets, they all decided that they would pool and give their TV money to a pool and dole it out equally, because that would save them money in payroll by having a salary cap.
Save them money to have a salary.
That was stunning to me.
And then too, they also then realized that they have a salary cap. You know what there wouldn't be a cap on? Coaches' salaries.
Well, yeah.
Riley, there's no cap on coaches' salaries. How much player development money you can spend? They'll find ways to spend it.
We're talking about the draft. The Mets, Blue Jays, Yankees, Phillies, and Dodgers all had a 10-pick penalty on their first pick for exceeding the second surcharge threshold of the competitive balance tax. So they got taxed in the draft. They dropped spots.
Yeah, and that was when they were explaining it to me, watching it for the first time ever, Drew, that the last pick of the draft, or the first round of the draft, was the 26th pick that the Brewers had. I'm like, wait, hold on here.
Well,
I'm gonna have to second guess you on that one. And sure enough, they started explaining like, oh, the Mets 28th pick comes due via payroll penalty and tax that you end up rolling.
And the Brewers take Trey Ebel from Corona High School with the lineage, and that leads us into our Current Electric superhero of the day. Callcurrent.com is the website. They're the best in the area. They have superheroes on the side of their vans. You can't miss them. Looks like it's like driving by a cartoon, a comic book.
Yes, you know exactly where it is.
On the freeway.
Superhero right there at
Superheroes at Current Electric. Any of your electrical needs, check them out at callcurrent.com. But Billy, who's our superhero of the day?
The superhero of the day today is going to be none other than the father of the first round pick for the Milwaukee Brewers, Dino Ebel. Now, Dino, congratulations. You've done well, man. Not only is he the third base coach of the LA Dodgers, rocking the number 91 for a number of years. He was a former 27th round selection of the Phillies in the 86 draft. He was a third base coach for the Angels back in the day, was a part of Team USA's coaching staff, twice the third base coach for WBC. But now he's also the dad of the last 2 years first round picks for the Brewers. Brady Ebel goes 32nd in competitive balance Group A first round a year ago. And the 26th pick in this year's draft ends up as Trey Ebel, and he goes to the Brewers. He was committed to go to Texas A&M. Said it quickly with the guys on the broadcast that he is going to start his big league career. I'm a Brewer. But congratulations, Dino Ebel. Now the rent comes due. All right. Both of your boys made men. Now you need to help us out a little bit. Now we need to get a little bit over aggressive with some of those sends, right?
Yeah.
This is the chess, not checkers game.
Run them into some outs.
We've done a very, very nice thing for you.
I like this.
We got your two youngsters in great spots. They're going to develop. They're out there in Corona High School. They're training with our friend Bryce Terang and his trainer. Trey said during his post-draft meeting with the media that Bryce Terang's trainer changed his life. No chance he'd be here right now. Well, Dino, now the rent's coming due, brother. Let's run them into some outs. Let's get really aggressive with some of those sends when the Brewers meet up with the Dodgers in the NLCS. This might be chess, not checkers by the Brewers front office realizing we can't spend with what the Dodgers got. But you know what we can? We can hit them where it hurts, right there at third base, and just be waving around Mookie Betts right into a throw home. Get like 2 or 3 outs on the base paths, and that's how you change game 1 and game 2 from a 2-1 loss to Yamamoto to a 3-2 win.
Chestnut checkers.
This is how this translates, and all of a sudden, Blake Snell might be able to shove for 8 innings, but if they're making 2 outs at third base, especially with nobody out, one of the cardinal sins of baseball, boom, we can still steal that one late. Chess, not checkers, playing high-level chess. We draft the third base coach's kids from the Dodgers. He now helps us get to the 2026 World Series.
I love this. This is just the next step of Arnold working the marketing efficiency, finding another way to win. This is the way.
We got to find a different way of doing it.
Social engineering.
Right.
Well done, Billy. I like that.
Dino Ebel is our current electric superhero of the day.
Good bloodlines there, Drew.
He'll be throwing tonight to Bryce Harper in the home run derby.
Which I didn't understand how that played up, but they've known each other well, and obviously he was the WBC
That's right.
Guy this year, and he goes, I like the cut of your jib. You're throwing me BP.
Exactly. But back in Ebel worked the derby and threw to Pujols in 2015 and had the young boys pose for a picture with Bryce Harper.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's the picture that's been on TV. They both have Angels hats on.
Pretty cool.
But yeah, Bryce Harper with the 2 young boys who are now both #1 picks.
Think about his the height progression picks that he must have with some superstars. You know, like the Marcus Johnson posted the pictures of his youngster and the height progression with Giannis. He goes, well, now we need a new measuring stick because she went from hip high to elbow high. And that was the new launch of 13 years. And you see the same pick year in and year out. He's got to have some pretty cool ones with some pretty electrifying players for the years that Dino's been involved.
That's a good point. Yeah.
And soon enough, he's going to be able to sit back, American Family Field right there in section 117, get him a nice, comfortable seat. And I don't know. Do you think Dino just sits in the stands and watches the boys once they get to the major league level? Or does he try to find his way over there to third base and start waving them around?
That'd be kind of cool.
That would be pretty cool. Yeah. And kids, by the way, some video, some photo proof that there are kids that grew up Angels fans. So that's pretty cool. Yeah.
There are indeed. Another subplot today to watch
rude.
Is that William Contreras will be sitting on the sideline, on the foul line, watching his brother in the home run derby.
Hyping his brother up. Now, the Venezuelans and the Dominican Republic players generally have the best pump-up crowds.
That's absolutely true.
Is that fair to say? Yes. Like Junior Caminero, I know is going to have a good squad of guys helping him out and get him, recharged with the hydration break. The fanning, whoever's fanning the towel, whoever's pouring the Gatorade, we could probably pour our own Gatorade, but that's something that I have a problem with. And a lot of sports going all the way back, we can squirt our own water bottles. We don't need somebody to do it for us. But it would, those pump up crowds, they have a lot more fun than the couple of guys that will be helping out, potentially Jordan Walker today. Those guys will be bringing a lot of juice over there. It's one of my favorite parts of the home run derby is the kids, the players on the side, Drew, that are acting like kids.
Oh yeah.
While their friends are out here hitting absolute
contests,
tanks.
just chilling and watching it in school. Yeah. It's funny because Wilson Contreras, the guy throwing to him, is the bench coach for the Red Sox, Jose Flores, and he was going to go chill out in Puerto Rico over the break. And Wilson's like, hey, I want you to throw. So there's a little financial remuneration, I believe.
I was going to say there might be some kickback. Do you like that one better, or do you like the Cal Raleigh, his dad throwing him the pitches last year?
That was cool. And Bryce Harper said his dad just hasn't been throwing, so he can't. That's why he's got Dino Ebel throwing to him because his dad's not up to the task.
His dad was grooving some fastballs to him last time, too. But
doubt.
That's an undersold part of this. You better be putting them things right in the pocket.
Yeah. And he needs some because Cal's been struggling this first half. That's one of the more talked about stories, I think, in the first half.
Big Dumper's taking a little dump here in the beginning of 2026.
He's really had a rough first half after being a revelation in baseball last year, obviously, for what he did. And, man, did he really fall off the table? So maybe that'll help him turn it around. Who knows? Yeah.
All right. We haven't mentioned it. We're about to talk to Hunter, but the Gary Trent deal. Billy, give me your 1 minute take on the Gary Trent deal with the Bucks. It was they signed him to a deal that just dropped jaws around the league. Everybody's like, wait a minute. And then it's like, oh, this had to be baked in. This was a setup, and the Bucks are likely guilty of circumventing, but does the NBA have enough goods to prove it?
Well, and it also took 11 months for them to maybe prove the Kawhi Leonard circumvention with the aspiration.
Exactly.
And they had the assist of Pablo Torre on that one. This one's probably a little below Pablo Torre's level.
Quite.
I don't know that he's worried about the 12th guy off the bench for the Milwaukee Bucks getting 4 years at $64 million, but it pays to have a power agent named Clutch Sports Rich Paul, where clearly the Bucks were able to get his bird rights with 2 small deals and then load him up with 4 years, $64 million.
So they took care of him on the back end. It's like a handshake, wink, wink. Right. Sign this kind of like, I don't know if it was market or below market.
A little below deals. Market, yeah.
A little bit below, but stay with us and we'll take care of you in the end. Now, will the Bucks be sanctioned for this? Do they have to be? That will be interesting. And as I've saw, the best line that made me chuckle over the weekend was like, the contract itself is punishment for the Bucks. They don't need extra punishment because they've got Gary Trent for this. With the young players they're trying to develop, they've got this guy making this money, and that's going to be
punishment enough. Is having to watch Gary Trent Jr. play for $15 million a year.
He didn't do a lot last year.
No, not last year. But listen, a couple years ago he did, and he was really good in the Pacer series.
He had 2 30-point games in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean,
would you rather watch Cormac though?
Listen,
I want to watch Braden Burries.
I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying, you know what? It's a little bit of
let's go. The one defender of the Gary Trent Jr. contract.
You know what? You're watering the Rich Paul grass a little bit, the Clutch Sports grass. Yeah. You're gonna have to do that. And Gary Trent wasn't a total disaster, except for last year, that you thought it was 2 years ago. So maybe it could be a value. It's a crowded backcourt, though. And the reality is, guys, we're going to be losing either way. But I shouldn't say that. Maybe we'll be better.
With that attitude.
Maybe we'll be better. We're going to try and be better. He's somewhat of a known quantity, but not really. So
when we come back, Hunter Baumgart's going to join the party. You wanted us to talk baseball? We're going to talk baseball. Talk Brewers, All-Star break, and trade deadline stuff. Everything that we need to. We'll touch base with our beat guy, Hunter Baumgardt. He's next. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Continuing the Monday edition of the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin, Drew, Billy, and Armen. Joined now by our pal Hunter Baumgardt, brought to us by Import Minded, talking a little Brewers and baseball. Good morning, Hunter. Thank you for getting up. This is a quiet week for you, and here you are on the Monday edition of the Huddle. We appreciate you.
Oh, of course. You know, we are in the All-Star break now, and everybody can take a breather after what was a very tough weekend for the team on the field, and now we will see what happens here when we come back this weekend.
What was the roughest part of the weekend? The doubleheader loss by both games by 1 run, agonizing with the or was it the scratch of Miz? Was it placing Harrison on the IL? What was it?
I think it's that swing in the, what was it? I can't even remember what inning. I was trying to kind of forget it a little bit. 7th or 8th inning against Aaron Ashby and the first game. I think that turned the whole weekend. I think you get that out, you get out of that inning, and I think I think you win that game. I think, then it sets you up differently for the rest of the weekend. If, okay, you lose the next 2, okay, so be it. You at least got 1 in the series. But that swing just changed all the momentum, and that put Pittsburgh, in a really good spot. And of course, a 1-run loss in the next game as well. It's not like you were totally out of that one. And then it was just, you could kind of feel a loss coming yesterday. It's like they scratched their best pitcher, and then you're facing Paul Skeens, and they have all the momentum, and they're trying to somehow get back into it before the All-Star break. And they just kind of had that feeling yesterday, even before the game started. So I think it was that swing against Ashby. And look, Ashby's not been great over his last 9 outings. His ERAs went from 3.04 to 3.56. Since the beginning of June, his ERA is 6.5. So he has Abner Uribe and Trevor McGill both have had times this year where they've not been as effective. And now it seems Aaron Ashby is having that time. So a break is needed for him.
As our friend Paul Wagner of the Lake Country Dockhounds would always say, points are still always the most important thing. So it's the ERA for Ashby that's the worst. But I think the whip is almost more frustrating, Hunter. It feels like there's multiple guys on almost every time he comes in since the beginning of June. And they've had to lighten the load on a couple of different guys, find ways to maybe be creative in not having them work so much. But how difficult is it with Ashby? Because you're so reliant on his ability to pitch seemingly every other day. They're so overworked, and it doesn't seem like, at least for the next couple of weeks, August 3rd is still a decent ways away. And when you're talking about bullpen arms, a lot of times teams don't want to give that guy up a week before because more negotiating power comes with the deadline. How difficult of a run to August 3rd does this feel like it is going to be? Because I think they're going to get reinforcements, but they're going to have to make bay with some dinged up cats before we get there.
Yeah. And I think look, the team looked like a team yesterday that had played 18 games in 17 days, or coming into it, 16 games in or whatever it was coming into yesterday, right? They're on that last day, 18 games in 17 days. The bullpen was beat up. Obviously, the starting rotation was even beat up after it. 2 double headers in a week. All of that I think plays a role. So it's nice that you'll get some more off days. But August has a tough stretch in it as well. So you have another one coming up, and I think you will get reinforcements by then. But right now, you just kind of have to tread water before you get another arm in. I know they got Bryce Wilson in, and he covered up a couple of innings yesterday. But obviously, I think there is another move for a more higher leverage arm. But every one of these prices is going to be a little higher because so many of these teams think they're still in it. I mean, we saw the Red Sox have won, 9 straight into the break, and now all of a sudden they're in it in the AL. And you thought maybe they were going to sell Chapman or Gray or and they're right in the thick of things. You could be under 500 and right in the thick of it for a playoff spot. And that could be the case in 2 weeks, especially in the American League, where it's a weaker league overall. So I just think the cost is going to be higher because there are going to be less sellers. So what are the Brewers willing to give up? But I do think a bullpen arm is needed, just simply because every time you have a lead of 3 or less runs, you can't always go Ashby, Uribe, and McGill. And Chad Patrick has factored into that a little bit, which is good. But Ashby, as you mentioned, Billy, he's allowed a base runner in his last 9 outings. He's allowed a hit in 7 of his last 9 outings. And then he's allowed multiple hits in 3 of his last 4. I mean, you're going to get burned eventually. And he's been able to get out of those a fair amount with either 1 or 0 runs. but you're going to get burned eventually. And the grand slam was the burn on Saturday.
Talking to Hunter Baumgardt here on the Huddle. All right, Hunter, give us an Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin injury update, orthowisconsin.com. They're the best world-class care right here in our backyard. The Harrison injury, they're telling us it's no big deal. And then Miz gets backed off because he didn't respond well in a throwing session. And both of those things, they send a chill up your spine. So where are you on those, and what else do we need to know about the injury front?
Yes. So the Harrison thing obviously is I think maybe the most major move of the weekend. You could argue that Brandon Woodruff being transferred to the 60-day IL was also major, but we have not heard exactly what's going on there. We'll get to him in a moment. Kyle Harrison, left forearm tightness is the reason for his 15-day IL. I mean, again, Murph, Harrison, both not too concerned, but we've heard and seen this story before. I mean, this is the Brewers are kind of known for playing down their injuries, and then it can take a little longer than we think at the outset. So I don't know. I mean, Harrison placed on the 15-day IL, retroactive to July 9th, so he's out at least till the 24th. And so you're talking about end of July that he'd be back. And again, left forearm tightness after they had said that there was some elbow soreness going on. So a little confusing on that front. Harrison told Kurt Hogue that he's not too worried and feeling better than he was after his start. So he was going to take a few days off of throwing, told Kurt on Saturday that. So that's good. I mean, if he was feeling better already, I just think these guys need some rest at this point. I think it's a lot of that. And then Jacob Mizorowski is the same way. He just didn't respond well after his last start. Fatigue, body not feeling well, arm not feeling great, didn't recover well after his last start, and there's no reason to push it. So he'll likely start throwing again. His plan is to start throwing tomorrow. Not going to pitch in the All-Star game, but just start throwing again. But he won't pitch in the series against Miami in the first series after the All-Star break. So you're talking at least a week for him. And I think those are your two biggest concerns because those are your horses. I mean, when you talk about going into a playoff series, going into down the stretch, you need those two healthy. And then Brandon Woodruff transferred to the 60-day IL, met with Dr. Keith Meister, did his surgery in September of 2023. We will see what the report is on that when we come back from the All-Star break. But obviously, it's not great if you transfer him to the 60-day, which means he's out until at least September 5th. And we don't know what the next steps are going to be. We're awaiting word on that. We should know this coming weekend, but obviously signs are pointing to him being gone for at least most of the rest of the season.
Can he start rehabbing during the 60-day, or you have to wait till that 60-day is and then he can start going through? Obviously, he can do a throwing program and things like that, but you can't go out on a rehab assignment until that 60 days is up, correct?
Oh, I think you can. I think you can't just.
So he could start ramping up if things end up going well in the middle of August, and he could be ready to come off on that, September 5th or whatever it would be.
I believe so. I just don't think. I think you can't be on the major league roster until that is up. Yeah. So I believe so. So that is good. I mean, he could be back for September. He could. Again. It's like they could tell us this weekend.
We're hoping for a little bit of optimism here, Hunter. I know there is going to be very, very small shreds of it possible, but we're just keeping the small little glimmer of hope that could be the possibility.
I like it. Coleman Crow reinstated, so that's good.
Much better chance.
He's back at AAA. He was optioned at AAA. Obviously, a procedural move. I think we'll see him at the major league level at some point. So that's good. Rob Zastryzny was returned from his rehab and remaining on the IL again. So another lefty that they just unfortunately cannot get healthy. I mean, this is the third time he's tried to come back this season and just has not been able to pitch in the majors. So we'll see. We'll get an update on him coming up too. So those are kind of the latest. Obviously, DL Hall, Brandon Lockridge back, late July, Kunal late July, early August. So some of those guys, and then David Hamilton. They said, Ben Murphy said we'll miss a couple more series after the All-Star break. So we're probably talking at least a week after they return on Friday. So we're talking the 24th of July or so, around the same time as Kyle Harrison. So, and then Shoemake left the game early yesterday. The newly acquired Braden Shoemake, former first overall pick by the Braves back in 2019. He's bounced around a little bit. Yeah, and
would not have guessed after watching that. Yeah,
but you know what? Greg Jones was a first rounder, wasn't he? I mean, let's be
I don't know that off the top of my head.
Maybe I'm wrong about that. The reality is, hey, we found it with Quinn Priester. Maybe we can find it with other guys. But you're right. Yeah, we wouldn't have guessed that. Prospect was the key word there. It is amazing how much depth you think you have, especially in the pitching. You always seem to need more. No matter what the situation is with injury and things like that. So
yeah, and look, they set themselves up in the offseason. By the way, Greg Jones, yes, first round pick by the Rays. Same first round as Braden Shoemake. I'll have you know. 2019.
Sounds like a great draft.
That was brutal.
I didn't have to change that. I didn't have to do that.
We're trying to change that.
That was mean.
The Brewers are trying to change that.
How about that? A little fun fact for you. The Brewers had 2 of the first round picks in 2019 on their roster for the series in Pittsburgh this weekend. Unfortunately, they're swept in that series.
I knew I read that somewhere. So I did. Yeah.
But yeah, no, you're right. I mean, look, Matt Arnold in the front office clearly had an agenda in the offseason to go get pitching and to bolster that pitching depth because of what they went through last year. And that was the pitching injuries. Now, it seems that the pitching injuries have now come in more so in July rather than April like they did last year. But it does seem that they're kind of going through that again. And with the number of pitchers they have on the IL right now, and Miz missing the first series after the All-Star break, there are going to have to be some guys that step up. Look, and they've had guys step up. Gasser, unfortunately, took a step back yesterday. Hopefully he's able to bounce back after the break. You like what you've seen out of Logan Henderson, Coleman Crowe. He's had some good starts at the major league level this season. So let's continue to hopefully see that when we come back from the All-Star break.
Going to be interesting. Hunter, we're coming up on the 1-year anniversary of the Pocket Pancake.
That's a good one. I like that. Come on.
Do you feel like the Brewers need something like that this year? It's a long season, right? It's like we're all focused and it's been fun. But what has, I think we need
Murph have in his pocket to be able to help us out.
We need something like that. We need, so I don't know. Where's it? It's got to be organic, but don't you feel like they do need something like that to lighten things up a little bit?
Yeah. I mean, I think especially after, I think after an 17 days and you have 18 games, I think you're going to get tired no matter what. And I think that's kind of what we saw the last couple of days. And that may be taken for, I saw it was written in an article like, the clubhouse at PNC Park was very quiet on Sunday morning. Everybody kind of keeping to themselves. I'm like, well, that's a Sunday morning clubhouse for, that's always a Sunday morning clubhouse.
Yeah, good point.
I don't think we need to read into that too much. I don't know. I think this team is a very good, solid baseball team, and they just ran out of steam in the last few days. I know Pat Murphy denied it yesterday, but you could see it in all facets, whether it's the lineup, whether it's the, you have 2 doubleheaders in 6 days or whatever they had. I mean, that's significant. So I think that is just what they had. But yeah, look, you want that. I mean, last year heading into the All-Star break, they had won. They had won 7 in a row. They were on their way to winning 12 in a row because they went into the All-Star break on a 7-game winning streak, won 5 out of the break in LA. That was part of the sweeping the LA Dodgers. So obviously that is not something you get this year, but this year they were a lot better in the early parts of the season in May and June than they were last year. So I think it's a different season, and there aren't as many of those like wild storylines or crazy stories this year. This is just a good, solid baseball team that I think can take that into the second half, and they'll have confidence going forward.
Well, yeah, we did have the turtle for a while, but I don't know whatever happened.
That was like one series, and that was when they weren't even playing very well against the Royals too.
That's a good point. Yeah,
you gotta find something different.
And I think there's going to be series like this. There's going to be games like this. I think only because the Cubs are on a pretty good stretch, keeping the pressure on, we're a little more upset about it than anything else. But I think that's part of it. That's just baseball. These are going to happen, even for really good teams.
Yeah, I mean, the Dodgers also got swept over the weekend. Diamondbacks swept them, so you didn't lose any ground in this race for the 1 seed. I went back and looked at how many years the Brewers stumbled into the All-Star break. They have been under 500 since 2018. There's only been 2 years where they've been over 500 in the last week of before the All-Star break. That was last year when they went 7-0. In 2023, they went 4-3. Otherwise, 2024, 2-4. 2022, 2-4 and 3 straight losses. 2021, 2-4 and 3 straight losses. 2019, 2-5 and 4 out of 5, including 2 to Pittsburgh that they lost. And then the 2018 was the 5-game sweep at the hands of the Pirates. So you have not been good into the All-Star break other than last year and 2023. In 2023, you were just 1 game over 500. So for some reason, they just have not been great into the All-Star break. But look, a lot of those, 2018 5-game sweep against the Pittsburgh Pirates. We all know what happened. You got to the NLCS tonight.
Yep. And that one is so burned into my memory bank because I was doing the
know.
post game at the time. It literally started raining during the 9th inning, and they gave up like 2 or 3 runs to get walked off on. And you just looked around like, well, of course it happened. Of course that's how this game ends and this disastrous break goes.
Yeah,
let's all go to Escanaba, Michigan and get away for a couple of days.
You know which team started July, losing 5 of 6? The 57 Braves. All right. And they won the World Series. So we're going all the way.
Way to go, Armen.
Come on now.
Jeez Louise, what a
deep cut, man.
Wow.
On a Monday.
Yeah, Deep Throat didn't have that one.
Wow. All right. Hunter, thank you for joining us. Enjoy this leisurely week, and then you'll get back at it with Milwaukee's baseball tonight at the end of the week, right?
Yeah, exactly. So we'll be back Milwaukee baseball tonight and Thursday. We'll look back at some of the top moments of the first half and then look ahead to the second half and what the storylines could be as we head into the stretch run. And then the pregame show is back on Friday. So thanks, guys. We'll talk to you then.
All right, bud.
We'll miss you.
Mr. Hunter Baumgardt, brought to us by Import Money, your trusted source for car care on 27th Street, just north of 894. When we come back, we're waking and baking. We got a story for happyplacehemp.com. Use the code HUDDLE for 25% off and free shipping. We'll have that story and wrap up any loose ends next. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Monday edition of the Huddle has just been flying by. It's time to close up shop, wrap up the loose ends. We do that. Well, we close up every show with our Wake and Bake story, brought to us by HappyPlaceHemp.com. Rob and Chris, they make the best CBD products you'll find anywhere, legal, local, made right here in Muskego, and they'll ship it anywhere in the state. If you use the code Huddle, 25% off and free shipping. Now, the free shipping doesn't apply if you stop in the store in Muskego, but then you get the experience. First of all, you get to have the tangible experience of just grabbing the products and taking them home with you and having them right away.
Which is way more fun. Yes.
And it's just, that's the only way to get them quicker because they ship so fast. But you also get to talk to Robin, Chris, and the crew. So let's, I highly recommend that every once in a while, but there's no shame in making the order. And once you order once, you'll be back. I know that because they're good products. They're the best. Love the gummies. Love the Drift Seltzer.
All the best.
They're always working on new stuff there too, so check them out. Billy, what do you got for Waking and Bacon?
Well, we mentioned the story a little earlier today, but Bam Adebayo of the Miami Heat reportedly, now some are saying reportedly punched. I believe Shams Charania said reportedly struck in the face.
Struck
in the face.
So was it
that's
a
what you
slap?
call. That's what somebody who's never been punched or thrown a punch calls a punch.
Well, that was
a
like
strike in the face.
Like a Will Smith,
Now keep my name out your mouth.
I'm just
Keep my
wondering.
wife's name out your damn mouth.
That
Well,
was a slap.
that situation happened at a Las Vegas hotel gym, which was triggered by Hero's social media criticism of Adebayo. But the criticism didn't stop there. No. Talk about main character energy. Wake and Bake. How does a story about Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo become a story about Draymond Green? Well, Draymond Green makes it about Draymond Green. He immediately, the next morning after the report came out, went on a 4-minute tirade on his podcast, making sure that Udonis Haslem, as he said, kept the same energy for Bam punching Tyler Hero as he did when Draymond punched Jordan Poole. Cliff notes, you said, I remember when I got into it with Jordan Poole, and I remember one person, a Jordan Poole incident happened to me, really, really outspoken about it. It bothered me. It was Udonis Haslem. I saw UD get into it with guys on his own team younger than him before. Well, he went in for a good 4 minutes. And Udonis Haslem went in on a 5-paragraph essay that just dismantled Draymond Green. If you think your big 32-year-old, 3 or 4 rings at a time, having your ass swinging on a 23-year-old Jordan Poole at the time is it the same like this, then you're even more delusional than I thought. Udonis Haslem just fried Draymond Green. And this is what the NBA offseason needs to be about. It doesn't need to be about second aprons and salary mismanagement, and may or may not have the Bucks had a handshake agreement with Rich Paul to bring back Gary Trent Jr. at an absolutely obscene rate. That number probably could have been the Wake and Bake story of 4 years, $64 million for Gary Trent and his 8 points a game last year. But Drew, this is the NBA I know and love.
This is it.
This is the NBA. This is the association I know and love. When the games are not being played, the action is hotter because we start chirping at each other. Udonis Haslem's got all the smoke for Draymond Green. And if there's anybody that I probably wouldn't pick a fight with who used to be in the NBA,
it's Udonis Haslem.
UD is at the top of that list.
UD has that old man strength.
Oh, man.
But the
Big
thing
time.
is, no one else remembered this except you, Draymond. That's my favorite part. Like, no one ever remembered this with you and Udonis, but you made it about you. Love it. Keep it consistent.
Just wild.
Always one of the
we didn't
best.
get into Tyler and the whole thing about not going to the Badgers and decommitting. We can probably do that the rest of the week. But man, that was,
I know you've been waiting on that one.
Well, that was our kicking the balls. But boy, that
I think that one's been done. That was like 12 years ago.
People got fired up about that all over again. So
As they said in the great Superbad, people don't forget.
We've covered a lot of ground today. I gotta say, productive day tonight. Home run derby. Watch Matty V. Tune in on Netflix for just a little bit. See how Matty V's doing.
And I got my boy Ben Rice. Come
right.
on, Benny. Come on, Benny. 9-1 at the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
Oh my goodness, it's gonna be it'll be plenty for us to talk about tomorrow. This is supposed to be a slow week. We're not treating it that way. We're gonna have some fun. We'll see you tomorrow at 5 a.m.
Peace.